SEC. The World Series continues tonight. First pitch at 7:08. The Dodgers hold a 2-game lead. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody!
There you go. Hello, friends. It's your old pal, Jim Nance. I am actually AJ Hoffman. And as always, on our little morning huddle here, I am joined by Mr. Rob Thompson. Good morning, Robert. How are you, friend?
I'm good. I'm in the middle of a weird time delay. I'm looking at the wrong screen, so your voice doesn't match.
Oh, my voice doesn't match up with my face.
Well, it does, I'm sure, for everybody and all of us, sync up outside of this building. But I was looking at you, and I was hearing words that didn't match. I was like I was watching a Godzilla movie from like '68.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes
but anyway,
sense.
hey, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. How's the fair state of Nevada and Utah?
Good. Utah's a much lovelier place than I give it credit for. Normally, I just think of Utah and think, I don't want to be there.
Well, Park City, I hear, is a lovely place to be.
But you know what? Zion is a very, very lovely place.
Yeah.
Having never been there before, my wife and kids go semi-regularly, and I'm always like, well, I can't go.
Where is Moab?
Working.
Is Moab close to Zion?
I don't think so. Here's what I've learned about Moab. They make really terrible beer. Utah in general makes really terrible beer.
Well, that's a bunch of,
and there's no alcohol in it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
they don't know.
3.8%.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody who's not going to drink what they're making.
Well, that's a good rule of thumb, man. A good rule of thumb. I don't want sober people making my beer.
They don't get it. Why? What? They can tell me.
Well, Rob, I know you had a great weekend.
Well, I did, actually. I mean,
it couldn't have been better for you.
Well, it could have been last night excluded, but
okay.
But that was kind of expected.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, and I think you remember I did expect kind of what happened on Saturday. I had heard rumors that there was a possible quarterback offing, a thunder and lightning thought approach to this, but no one thought it was real.
Well, let me ask you this.
But I'll tell you this, as we talk about it today, this was a planned thing.
Is this a permanent change?
No.
Oh, I don't like hearing that.
Well, that doesn't mean it is permanent, but isn't permanent. But I can tell you that the coaches are going to stand by. It's still Wegman, and there's still this idea that it's easier to. Well, I tell you, I kind of get the idea because of how LSU was just so utterly ill-equipped for the change of pace.
Really were.
It was like a fighter that went from standing left-handed to right-handed. I've never seen a defense like, hey, coach, they're running it. We don't know how to do this. But anyway, good Saturday night. My weekend wasn't all great. My car's going to go in the shop today. But apart from, we'll get into.
Well, who would you want to blame for your car being in the shop?
I'm not going to go down this road there, AJ.
Okay.
I'm a skilled litigator. I know what questions to answer and which ones to answer around. See, it's not so much about who I would blame. It's about what I'm going to have to do.
Okay. I'm sure the accountable party will pay for it.
One way or the other. What do you do when it's your wife's fault? You know it's her fault. She knows it's her fault. Do you just do you let it simmer? Do you keep poking, or do you just let it go, knowing full well you're gonna F up soon enough, and this might be a chip in the game that you
put it in your pocket, and when you need it, you pull it out and say, "Yeah, but remember that."
See, you don't even. Hopefully, you've been married long enough, like you and I have, where you don't even have to bring it up. It is assumed that we both know. Hey, yeah, you got a chip in the game. I owe you one.
Yeah, it's the way it should be.
Yeah, so. That's what I'm hoping it will be. I just hope I don't have to cash it in anytime soon. I want her to walk on eggshells for a little while.
So now's your chance. If you want to go out and get a hooker.
Hookers and blow, baby.
I don't think you even get in trouble for it right now.
No, I don't think I will. No, she can take half my debt.
Yeah. If
you get real mad at me.
You want to have everything? You get half of this broken car.
See, that's the thing. You stay broke, there's nothing to take.
That is that's sage advice.
You want to run away? Take it. Run. Carry this with you.
Which one of the kids are you taking?
That's right. Take one of those. You got to share the payroll from here on out.
We've got so much to talk about today, friends. What a weekend in football it was. Boy, I'm curious your thought, and we'll talk to Cowboys coming up next. But this was another one of those. How much does this feel like the Ravens game? Like this is the final score is not indicative of the game itself.
You're absolutely right. But I do think we wake up with an entirely different perspective than we did against Baltimore. Yeah, we saw the late charge. Yeah. Okay. We saw
cool. We saw all the garbage. We saw all the empty numbers you piled up.
Yeah, we saw the garbage.
Nice job. That was cute. We will also at 9:00 talk to head coach of UTSA Jeff Traylor. Woof. Man, I feel bad for him. In fact, this is the first time, I'm not going to say this to him, obviously, but this is the first time I feel bad for him for staying at UTSA. And I know people in San Antonio don't want to hear that, but his stock now it's going to be very difficult to ever be as high as it was last offseason. And that was his real chance to cash in. And now he's going to be at UTSA until either UTSA changes the way they operate, which seems unlikely in the very near future, or until he loses enough games as they move on from him. And,
oh, man, doom and gloom.
I mean, it's kind of doom and gloomy, isn't it?
No. I mean, yeah, every team.
Fine?
Well, no, I didn't say it's great, but I mean, we're not at anything more than a small trend. I mean, this is a slightly down year after three remarkable years.
And you think that this can be this is reparable?
Yes, I do. I think there's some injury issues. I think he lost a lot of talent over the last 2 years, and I think everything he's been saying has come to fruition. Look, if I don't get more money, I'm going to lose some dudes, and he's proven that. I agree with you that he will never be as hot as he was. That doesn't mean. It's not so much about heat anymore. Now I'm starting to worry about his just general lifestyle and psyche. It might be to the point like, dude, I'd just soon be a coordinator in the pros and take summers off and, just make a good living for the rest of my life. I've been here and here was nice, but I don't want to do this anymore. There's nothing wrong with saying that. There's lots of dudes that have a good long life and love their football careers. But right now he's not going to be happy.
No, there's no way. And I feel bad for the dude. I don't think this is necessarily his fault. I think that he's doing the best that he can with what he's got. And part of it is I'm so used to covering, and you're used to seeing it too. Like when you look at Texas football or Texas A&M football, they don't have the excuses that, and not that Jeff's making excuses. It doesn't seem like he but they don't have the reasons to be, to be worried about things like that.
He's hamstrung by things that
you really do. I mean, it is now about dollars and cents, and boy, UTSA just doesn't look like they're going to be able to keep up with the Joneses, and that's unfortunate, especially because they did jump up a class. You jump up a weight class, and you're ill prepared for it. It could be ugly for a while. A lot of college football to talk as well. We got so much to get into. We will hear from Dak Prescott today. We will hear from Mike McCarthy today. We'll hear from Aaron Rodgers, my old friend, Aaron Rodgers. What a day for him.
You are a vulture on a corpse, man. This is so gone. It is so over for them.
Rob, this is me when I'm right. Like the 1 time out of 5 that I'm right. This is the AJ you get. And we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about the Cowboys. We'll talk about Spurs, Rockets, the latest odds to make the college football playoff. We've got a ton to discuss. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
What's up?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
What is GMTV-CC? That's a mouthful.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
When I wake up
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel all right.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
What is GMTV-CC? That's a mouthful, but translation for GMTVCC.com is Give Me the VIN Classic and Collector Cars. It's a brand new buying division of Give Me the VIN, but it's for classic and collector cars. Experienced pro buyers will appraise an offer on your 1970 Hemi Cuda or 1988 Fox Body Mustang or your granddad's old 1985 square body Chevy truck. GMTVCC.com is where you go to get real money for classic and collector cars to get paid now. That's GMTVCC.com, brought to you by Give Me the VIN.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist? Huh, you don't say. Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
If you're tired of drinking the same old beer, good news for you, friends. Karbach Brewing has you covered. They've got something for everybody in their lineup. No matter what you like, they can improve on what you've been drinking. Whether it's a Hopadillo, a Love Street, or a Crawford Bock, they've got something for everybody. And Karbach has one of the leading IPAs in San Antonio, Hopadillo IPA, an iconic Texas IPA packed with the bitterness of hops from around the world that the hop monster craves. And one of Karbach's leading brands, the top seller in San Antonio, in fact, is the Love Street Blonde. It's a state of mind, a San Antonio state of mind. It's a Kolsch-style blonde, hopped delicately with floral German hops. This beer has the clean malt profile that you're looking for. And if you're used to drinking cerveza, they've got that as well. The Karbach Cerveza Especial is right for you. Like I said, something for everybody. And when you're in Houston, make sure you go check out the brewery, check out all the beers they have on tap. But while you're here in San Antonio, you want to try something new, why don't you try out a Karbach?
The 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard is hiring both full and part-time positions with over 180 different career choices, including cyber, healthcare, communications, avionics, electronics, and more. The Texas Air National Guard offers a variety of ways you can serve. Earn education benefits that would cover tuition towards a bachelor's degree. To learn more, Google the 149th Fighter Wing. That's the 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
You invited Dak and Coop over to the house. What mama cooked?
She never disappoints.
Well, what was the meal? We're really curious.
Well, she had the local pizza, salads, pasta dish, chicken.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime! Ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Cowboys. It's showtime for the Cowboys, Rob. They fall to the 49ers, 30-24. Fourth straight loss to San Francisco. They it turns out they can lose games on the road. We thought they were unstoppable on the road. They're not. They are not unstoppable on the road. Good news, everybody. You saw Dalvin Cook. 6 carries, 12 yards.
Sideline.
6 carries, 12 yards. Dalvin Cook. This is what you guys wanted it. Here you go.
Well, he's fully in shape.
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, we got everything we expected. I mean, that was exactly what you expected from Dalvin Cook this far into the season. Fresh leg.
And you got a bunch of junk time stats for Dak and for CeeDee Lamb.
Here we sit. Okay, so can we all acknowledge, is there still an elephant in the room that anybody's pretending that there's a future here? I mean, at what point are we going to acknowledge that there's a hole in the boat and it's sinking?
We sit at 3-4, Rob. There's some events that happened over the weekend that make me feel less positive about the Cowboys' long-term chances, i.e. the Eagles looked really good.
5-2 now.
The Commanders win again. This is not a playoff team. The Cowboys are not a playoff team. I'm sorry.
So if you're not a playoff team, average ain't good enough. So what do you do when you wake up today?
That's sort of the thing about the Cowboys offseason is that now there's not much you can do.
Well, okay. Well, whatever you can do, does it start today? Seriously, does offseason, I know they're going to say 365, yada, 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 but do you believe anybody worth anything that has kind of a 30,000 foot view looks at this and goes, yeah, there's a chance? Because there's not.
No, I mean, I think there's delusional Cowboys fans for sure.
Yeah, delusional chances and 1 in 1,000. And
I mean, even Dak is coming out and saying, "Okay, well, we got to be better. Like we're not going to fade away." Okay, yeah, sure,
that's fine. But I mean, the thing I like about that coach at Vanderbilt, don't know his name, but I do know when Lee took the gig, he goes, from now on, every decision I make, even to the color of the pens I buy, will be about winning. Will this help me win? And if it doesn't, it comes second. I got to find the next thing that helps me win. Do we wake up now and go, all right, well, this season is done. So everything I do from now on ain't about this year. It's about September 1 of next year or whenever kickoff is. Do we do that now?
The difference between Vanderbilt and the Cowboys is Vanderbilt isn't married to anybody on their team for the next 5 years. The Cowboys are.
Well, there's obviously you're hamstrung by some, but others you're not. We got a trade deadline. What? We got a week?
Yeah.
That's what he's done. I mean, there are some things that if you decide to fast forward that you can decide to do now. And I know this is odd for the Cowboys, but you can be proactive instead of reactive. You can decide ahead of everybody else that, you know what? I'm out. We're making a move, and this is not about this year, whether it's about talent, draft picks, or money.
Okay, what that leads to the next question. I mean, who's on the table?
Who isn't? Other than I'm talking. If you want to talk, Dak, we'll talk. You want to talk?
I mean, that's impossible.
I mean, everything's for sale, but I don't honestly, AJ. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I got to open the door and entertain possibilities. Somebody might see something I don't. There might be an opportunity out there. I have no idea, but I do want the world to know, look, man, this is a going out of business sale.
Are you willing to discuss Micah Parsons?
I'm willing to discuss everybody. Everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's so wild because the Cowboys basically, with the CD and the Dak signing, shoved all their chips onto the table. And now I don't know that there's any going back. This is such an awkward situation. Like last night, as I watched that game, you tell me if I'm out of line in saying this. I'm watching that game and I'm going, Dak is just a guy. Like there's nothing special about this dude. He's not what he once was in this. Like he's worse than he's been in a long time. He looks fit. And you know what? Collinsworth even said it last night. He can't move anymore. Like he is physically diminished to a point where he's just okay. And now, he didn't have like a Deshaun Watson level decline to where he's just like no longer a viable NFL starter. That's not what I'm saying. But he's just not that good.
Well, AJ, he hasn't declined. He's exactly what he's always been. He is. Dak Prescott is a thermometer. He is not a thermostat. He is exactly what the talent is around him. He's not a negative, nor is he a positive most of the time. He is a guy that represents what is around him. And what's around him is worse, and so is he. And he got paid like a thermostat. He got paid like a temperature setter, but he is just a temperature teller. It's a big difference. And it's obvious. Watch him. He is an average Joe. Now they force-fed CD, who's a stud, and it made Dak look good when they were force-feeding him. But when he couldn't force it anymore, there was nothing left but a check down to his tight end.
Yeah, I mean, and what's funny is, I mean, all the CD stuff all came late. The 2 touchdowns came late, and it really kind of bailed out Dak's day, because if we were sitting here talking about Dak with no touchdowns, 2 picks, and 150 yards, we'd all be going like, what in the bleep? But this is the thing, like you didn't get anything special from the 49ers, mind you. The 49ers lost their starting running back early in the game. You know, they're running. They had to run their 3rd string running back, a rookie.
What's his name again?
Isaac Gorindo.
Gorindo, there it is.
You didn't get anything special from Brock Purdy. That was it wasn't a bad performance by any stretch. It was very middle of the road game for Brock Purdy.
The defense was effective. It wasn't like San Francisco ran away from you.
That's what I'm saying. That your defense gave you a chance to be in that game, and really only had one bad quarter. That was a really bad quarter.
That was a coaching issue.
But I mean, this was their best chance to win one of these games. I mean, I was sitting there at halftime going, wow, Cowboys are in this thing.
Man, it should be worse. And that's the other thing. San Francisco knew it could have been a whole lot worse. I mean, they should have been stomping the Cowboys into the dirt, but for a couple of holding calls.
But to not even be competitive at the end of the thing. And I know, they had the ball in their hands with a chance to go down and take a lead. So I guess they were in a way competitive, but it wasn't. It was all that's fool's gold. If that's what you're holding on to, that's a fool's errand, is what it is, to try and pretend like what you saw on that, to get them in that game is real, because it's not. This is a bad football team, and Rob, there's not really. I don't think there's a fix.
So don't you start today? Don't you wake up today and go, well, I know what we got. I know that injuries are going to continue to be a reason for some. It's an excuse to me. The defense minus Micah and D-Law was enough. It was enough to win that football game. So maybe with those 2 back, they might be able to turn the ball over, and maybe your defense can offer you a little bit of offense. But I don't think that's going to help.
I don't think so either.
Zach Martin is getting beat. He is not what he was.
And now you got Trayvon Diggs going out and yelling at reporters for questioning his effort. I mean, it's embarrassing, is what it is. It is embarrassing.
Call it a pig, man. Acknowledge that you're putting lipstick on a pig and go to work knowing that. Or I mean, there is no up. This is it. We saw who they were last night. They're going to beat some average teams, and they're going to come out about 500.
But they're not what anybody thought they could be this year. They're nowhere near a contender. And you know what? I guess it's fine, except the problem is, how different can this team look next year and the year after? Not much. So it puts you in a really awkward spot. And like you could say, well, what the big splash move? I mean, the easiest thing to do is to fire Mike McCarthy.
Oh, fire. Just fix the glitch. But there ain't no firing.
That doesn't do anything. That's not going to change the results of this year. I mean, it might give you a 1-week boost. It's not going to change the results of this year. And quite frankly, I think the Cowboys players like Mike McCarthy.
Maybe they shouldn't.
Well, I don't know. But I don't know that there is a fix in place, because now you are so committed to the core of this team that it's not changing. That this is what you've got for the next 3 to 4 years. And boy, it's going to be a rough stretch here for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, when we come back, we'll talk some college football. I know Rob had a happy weekend. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
How was Grandpa duty over the weekend?
It wasn't that bad. Fortunately, put a life preserver on him and throw him in the pool. So it's kind of what? So you know what I mean? It's like I swam with him pretty much all day on Saturday.
You swam with him, or you were in the same pool?
Well, I was in the pool.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
George Gets Justice. The attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers are proud of their local roots and their deep connection to San Antonio. They stand up for their neighbors, fight for justice, and make sure every voice is heard. When you've been injured in an accident, count on George Salinas Injury Lawyers. George guarantees that you don't pay anything unless they win your case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George Gets Justice. Getgeorge.com.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
And Doug. Customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. After that, you can also save me, as I'm currently hanging from the edge of a cliff. To recap, number 1, customize and save. Number 2, time allowing, save me. Shoulders separating.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hey there, Cowboy fans! San Antonio Sports Star has something special just for you. Imagine this, you and a loved one, and the excitement of a Dallas Cowboys home game under the bright lights at AT&T Stadium. Well, thanks to AARP and San Antonio Sports Star, we're giving you the chance to make that dream come true. It's easy. Just visit sasportsstar.com to enter for your shot at winning 2 tickets to see the Cowboys live. Whether it's your first game or your 100th, nothing compares to being there, surrounded by fellow fans, soaking up that incredible energy. And hey, this isn't just about football. It's about creating memories with someone close to you. AARP knows how important that is, and that's why they're proud to sponsor this special giveaway. So don't wait. Head over to sasportsstar.com. Enter and picture yourself in those seats, sharing an unforgettable day. We can't wait to send you to the game. Visit sasportsstar.com to enter. sasportsstar.com.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game. In fact, mine and 10 million others are playing this every day because we know what we're doing. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on your sports action. Join me and so many others playing every day. You know why? Prize Picks invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Look, you know your sports. How many yards is CeeDee Lamb going to get this week? Is Jonathan Taylor going to get 85 or more? You know what you're doing. Go make your play. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? You know you play fantasy football. Put your knowledge to work. And remember, use the code Alamo, and there's $50 in it for you. Download the app now. Use Alamo. Play with your friends. It's the best way to have fun and get yourself in the game. Remember, Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can add to big payouts. Download the app today. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Hey, Dad, Mom wants pizza for dinner. You want to run out?
Sure. I need to get gas anyways. Give me a minute.
Cool. Hey, what's that bottle?
It's stable. You just add it to the fuel tank, and it keeps these engines healthy. When you start driving, I'll put some in your car, too.
Which one do I get?
How much money you got?
At every fill-up, or when you store, start with Stable.
Halloween's coming alive at Target. Jackie and Gordy, the Jack-O-Lanterns, here with last chance Halloween deals. Looks like Mom's got the old pumpkin bucket stocked with the best candy, starting at $5.99.
Lucky pumpkin bucket. Oh, there's Dad party planning with a same-day delivery order.
Yes, it's a BOGO 50% off pizza party with Target Circle. Plus, buy 3, save 40% on soda 12 packs with Target Circle.
Nice saves, Dad.
Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Need it last minute? Get same-day delivery with Target Circle 360. Restrictions apply.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Well, that construction is completely gone now on the northeast side, northbound between Judson and Loop 1604. Traffic is quickly unwinding in the area. Southbound I-35, Evans down to 1604. That's currently a 2-minute drive with no delays. Westbound I-10 still moving well from 37 over to 35. Green driving conditions the entire stretch. I'm Michael Scott, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Michael Scott doing traffic today. Is that Michael Scott from The Office, you think?
No.
Oh.
I mean, maybe it could be.
Boy, if we could get that guy, how cool would that be?
What's his name?
Steve Carell.
That's it, Steve Carell.
I don't think we can afford him.
Let me get dressed.
Not after playing Ryan Eagle's salary.
No, we could afford it.
No way we can get him now. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And Rob, was the worst part of your weekend the first half of the A&M game and the best part the second half?
Oh, what's worse? I mean,
did you feel like it?
No,
in the first half of that game, did you feel like, oh my God, the Aggies are going to get thumped off this game?
I thought that there were some issues that needed to be addressed, but they were never out of it. And in fact, it should have been worse, And I think that I think as Kelly was walking off, he realized, this should be. I should feel a lot more comfortable.
They should have had some cushion here, and they didn't.
And he reflected on that, especially with a team that did what they have done. They collapsed in the fourth. That's a thing that's kind of a thing with Kelly for whatever reason. He can blame his players, but he's carried that on a couple of teams. I don't know why, but his teams tend to fade in the fourth, and it happened to him again. He was fighting a 12th man. That there's a lot of good things about playing at home, but that crowd is worth 20 yards and penalties a game.
Yeah.
So, and it manifested in the fourth when they had to have it, especially when they got their quarterback, Nussmeier, a little flustered. He was a little worried that the defense was throwing him off, and then having trouble with snap count and, checking out of plays on top of that. It mattered. It made a huge difference for the defense.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about this maybe being a potential, because Nussmeier I think he was the third in the Heisman odds before the game.
He's good, but he can get rattled. I mean, you
and on the surface, 400-yard day. That's nice, but the 3 interceptions is what really, cost LSU the game in a way. I say that. The defense cost them the game. That was an inability to stop one guy and an inability to adjust on the fly. And it's funny, I almost texted you at halftime of that game and said, this is another reminder that Connor Wegman sucks at football. And I guess Mike Elko said, yeah, he kind of does. And whatever the reason for making that switch was, and you could tell Wegman was so pissed off that they took him out of the game. But dude, Elko, that was the best call. Like LSU.
I hear there was some prep for this. That there was that Marcel got more than a standard backups reps during the week.
Well, that's good. Good for Elko.
Now I have a question, and I know people will fall on this. I'm not sure Wegman lost his job.
Oh,
I still think he's kind of the starting pitcher, and it's kind of like, how many innings can you give us? And if you can be Missouri Wegman, if you can be the guy that you're capable of, you're in there till you're not. But Marcel will be prepared, and I think that there's something to forcing teams to prepare for both. That I think Elko's going to play this card at least for the next couple of weeks. Although I do believe going into the Texas game, we're going to know very comfortably who the starting quarterback is.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're going to see both of these guys, and a lot of it is because Marcel Reed, God bless him. He's a weapon with his legs. I'm not sure he can. I'm not sure he can throw the ball like other than he's like a Navy quarterback. Like once you get sucked in, yeah, he can throw the ball up in the air and maybe a receiver catches it. But he is not. If he's contained, he's not going to beat you.
Well, that's why
the problem is LSU had no chance to contain him, and he ran wild on those dudes.
Now I'm going to let my Aggie come out here for a second. I had to listen for the entire first half with Herbie just praising this defense that had turned the corner, had gone from a collection of 11 great athletes to a team, a tightened fist. And then I watched as he praised that defensive coordinator for 30 minutes, how great they had become, and just watch him get X and O'd like he got punched and battered. It was a rope-a-dope. It was Herbie had to shut up about what the great job the DC had done. He could not adjust. This team was flat-footed. It is rare when you see a coaching move like that just catches another team so flat-footed. And he did it perfectly. He waited till late. He didn't do it when he should have. He waited till there was no time to adjust. And once he put him in, it was. I rarely do you see that. Just rarely do you see just an absolute 180 in a game.
Well, the tough thing about it is, for the first half, Herbie was right.
Oh, no, you're right.
They were dominant. And
I wouldn't go absolutely dominant. The Aggies knew from about the middle of the first quarter, we can run the ball. We can run the ball. We can run it. They were picking up 4 and 5 around. They just felt like we've got to get Wegman. We gotta. And they kept forcing it. But they were in the game because their defense hadn't rounded into form yet, because the offense was on the field running the football. They knew it. that defense was in trouble from the early on. It was just A&M trying to figure out a way to get Wegman in. And after every attempt had failed at trying to get him on track, they went and did what they had been successful at early, which was north-south football. They overwhelmed a small LSU defensive line.
It's so funny because both those teams were just so one-dimensional. And we've talked about it with the Cowboys. Like, the Cowboys can't run. They can't stop the run. And that's so key. The LSU could not run the football to save their lives. I mean, it was like just running into a brick wall every single time. So they said, okay, well, I guess we're just going to throw it. And you do that enough. And, you know, these are good athletes. They're not going to let you just chuck it around on them all day. And Nussmeier made mistakes. Well, A&M could not throw the ball. But when you're getting 5 yards a clip, boy, you can go a long way doing that.
Well, in the SEC, if you dominate that 6 yards, 3 yards on either side of the line of scrimmage, you win the SEC. If you dominate that, the run game works, the pass game works, but it all starts right there.
This has put Texas A&M in such a good spot now to where, barring some sort of disaster, their next 3 games, they're playing teams that are far inferior to them.
Well, South Carolina's got a good win under their belt. They're not a bad team, but yeah, A&M should take care of business. This is one of those typical A&M stub your toe games. This is what when A&M, when you look at Aggie fan and you wonder why at the beginning of every November we are kind of cross-eyed and look like we've been punched. It's games like this that come up against South Carolina on the road.
If they don't step on their own crank in the next 3 games, it doesn't really even matter if they beat Texas, because I think a 10-2 Texas A&M with 1 loss in the SEC and your only losses being to Texas and Notre Dame is in.
I think so too.
So I can't even put a description on how big that win was against LSU. I think that may have bought them enough wiggle room that I think A&M, I won't say a certain playoff team, because A&M does have a tendency to lose games they should never lose. And both the South Carolina and the Auburn game are, you know, those teams have good players.
They're better.
I mean, if you lose to New Mexico State, you don't deserve to be in the playoff.
And here we go. Yeah. And the good news is it's not a beauty contest.
No,
this is not one of those
survive in advance.
Jimbo needs to look good so we can feel good. No, it's ugly. It doesn't matter. Go get the win.
It can look like the Arkansas game. It can look like the Bowling Green game. It doesn't matter. As long as they don't lose more than 1 game, that team is a playoff team. And man, you talk about an incredible coaching turnaround. This tells me that without any doubt, Texas A&M made the right hire, I think they did. I thought they did from the beginning. It wasn't sexy, it wasn't cute, but I think they realized that they tried that with Jimbo, and it didn't work.
They went back to a defensive coach that just win games with strength. Finesse doesn't work. Don't try it. We don't have to be handsome. Just win games with strength. And I think that attitude starts in the locker room. It starts in February. It's one of those things that you got to inculcate. Toughness is earned. And I think that they're on their way. Now there's still let's not get too cocky. There's issues, but what we have seen is exactly when you laid out best case scenario for A&M. This is it.
Well, we'll talk more college football as the day goes on. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
Driving to Corpus on 37.
Yeah.
About halfway. There's a convenience store on the right. Best chicken strips I've ever had. I don't know what it's called.
You know how many convenience stores are on the right?
You walk in, they got a little counter. Best chicken strips ever.
Really?
I'm
So it's a
telling you,
gas
best-
station with a counter.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big convenience store that has gas pumps outside.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This Saturday, be at the Alamo Dome as your UTSA Roadrunners take on the Memphis Tigers. And remember to wear black. It's the Lights Out game and UTSA salute to local businesses. Tickets start at just $21 at GoUTSA.com. It's the UTSA Roadrunners hosting the Memphis Tigers this Saturday in the Alamo Dome. Kickoff at 11 a.m. Visit GoUTSA.com to secure your seats now. UTSA football, it's more than a game. It's an experience.
NCE General Contractors, based in San Antonio, is one of the fastest growing nationwide general contractors with a focus on commercial new construction, design build projects, building renovations, tenant finish outs, site upgrades, and building maintenance. NCE President Brian Ehrlich's a former Madison quarterback and proud to support high school football in San Antonio, building relationships first, then buildings that last. Learn more about NCE General Contractors online at ncegc.co. That's ncegc.co.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Time to start planning your Thanksgiving dinner, and that starts with the turkey. And the best turkeys are from Tri-County Meat Market. Tri-County gets their turkeys from Barber Farms in Colorado. These fresh, all-natural turkeys are never frozen and come between 8 and 24 pounds. Tri-County Meat Market only gets a limited number, so reserve your turkey before they sell out. Pre-order your turkeys and your pies from the Ultimate Cheesecake Bakery now at either Tri-County Meat Market location on Huebner Road or on Ralph Fair Road. If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/credit.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The other big boy football program in Texas survived on Saturday, 27-24. Texas beats Vanderbilt. Looked like they were going to just kind of coast and maybe took their foot off the gas a little early. But we talked about this, Rob. this Vanderbilt team this is what they're built for. Like if you say they're an underdog, they're going to hang around with good teams all year long, and really all year long, they've beaten a lot of those good teams. You know, they beat Alabama. They won at Kentucky. They almost won at Missouri. This was almost like a sigh of relief, I think, for Texas to get out of this thing alive.
Oh boy, a sigh of relief. You want to talk about puckered? I mean, stranger things have certainly happened. That kid's a winner. So he is. You got to put a stake in his heart. But they were just so much better physically. But I will tell you that the Florida team that's coming ain't the Florida team that A&M beat.
No,
they're better. They're better than Vanderbilt. And they're going to have it's going to be a more difficult atmosphere.
No, I agree that team is alive. Now I don't know about a more difficult. I mean, they'll get a home game against Florida, which is huge.
It's what I'm getting at is I think that by the time A&M plays Texas, that Arch is going to be the quarterback.
Oh, see, I disagree.
I think that offense yesterday, while Quinn didn't make any mistakes, he didn't lift that offense. And I know there's a running game issue. I think that Florida's going to expose something. I think they're going to see some speed. Texas is going to beat Florida. I'm not saying that Florida's going to beat, but you're going to see the most athletic, not the best, but the most athletic defense you've seen all year. And that goes with Georgia. I'm talking about players, not team, players. That Georgia team flies to the ball, man. What they're good at is what they're going to try to take away from Texas. And I think it's going to do something to Quinn. Because I think under pressure, Quinn makes mistakes, man.
Well, and Quinn did throw 2 picks in this game.
Well,
one of them, I think, were his fault.
Well, one of them I will not put on him at all. That first one, I think, was his fault.
Maybe so.
But I might not. But I'm just saying this is one of those games where it's all or nothing for Texas at this point. If A&M beats them, they ain't going into the playoff. I think you're still dealing with Georgia. You're still dealing with Alabama, who's going to be hot. I just don't think that if Texas loses that one, second, it's going to be tough. I think by the time they get there, there are going to be some people calling for more offense is where I'm going.
I think they'd be 10-2 as an SEC team. But you're right. What they won't have is a great win. And as you go back through their schedule, like the Michigan win is not a great win. Although Michigan, it
is a great win. I'm not going to take that away. I think they're right there. The problem that Texas is now running into is now they got to keep up with the Joneses, and they got to keep up with that other team that actually beat them. You know, so we're talking about the third team maybe in the SEC, which is possible. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just thinking by the time you get there, if A&M does what they're supposed to, they're going to be there. I think Georgia's still going to be there. I think either Alabama or Tennessee is going to walk away, be down, but the other might not be. The good news is Clemson is done. So I think there's still a chance, but it wouldn't surprise me to see an offense that's just good enough to get by a couple of teams. But we know what that offense was capable of when you had a quarterback that could turn the corner and run. And I think by the time they get to A&M, that might be the difference maker as far as what Sark is seeing.
Maybe so, we'll actually dig into these the college football playoff and see who's got the best chances to be there coming up. We know A&M improved their chances, and like I said, for Texas, it was just survive and advance.
Yeah,
and I think for both these teams, it's good. I mean, dude, we couldn't ask for a better thing for Thanksgiving, right? We've got a game that it matters. It's going to matter a lot.
There's a lot of kids out there, AJ, younger than us, that don't remember what it's like. And it's going to be like it was times something I can't even remember. We're going back 50 years, 40 years since there's been something like this.
And it always means something, you know, because anytime that game's been played, it's meant something, even when one's bad and one's good. But for it to matter on a national level is so exciting. I hope neither one of these teams stub their toe before that game, because I want that game to have value. I want everybody to be gathered around the TV eating turkey watching that football game. That's what I'm looking for. All right, we'll talk some NFL on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Talk.
This is the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville. 1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday at noon. The back-to-back road trip ends in Atlanta with the boys taking on the Falcons. I like this kind of party! Pre-game starts at 11. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. You asked for it, you got it! How about them Cowboys? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. With Progressive Insurance, you can make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Want to feel better and look better? Been experiencing dry skin, lack of desire in life, hair loss, brain fogginess, or low libido? Men, this goes for you too. All of this can be due to imbalances with your hormones, and we can help. Just taking hormones is not the answer. With state-of-the-art testing and customized wellness plans, we balance your hormones and get you well. It's what we do. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. Call me for your free evaluation, 468-1891.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist? Huh, you don't say. Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Get huge savings during the fall sales event at Ancira Nissan on IH-10 West. At Ancira Nissan, lease this 2025 Sentra S for just $218 per month for 36 months, or this 24 Rogue SV for just $258 per month for 36 months. Stop in or check us out at AnciraNissanSA.com. The fall sales event at Ancira Nissan on IH-10 West between Wurzbach and Heidner.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? Because I guarantee you, she does. I'm Gary Barton with Barton & Associates. If you're considering divorce, then contact Barton & Associates today at TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks, the unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
Real estate is out of control. Between guaranteed offer programs and new laws about agent commissions, it's gotten so confusing. Know what's not confusing? Paying someone a low flat fee to sell your house. And that's where Listing Spark comes in. Listing Spark is Texas' flat fee real estate company. Flat fee selling is sweeping the nation because it's faster and it keeps more money in your pocket. In fact, professional real estate investors have known about it for years. With Listing Spark, you don't have to pay hefty agent commissions, and you don't have to leave money on the table. If you have a house worth $400,000, you actually sell it for $400,000 without paying $24,000 in agent commissions. And get this, if you get started today with Listing Spark, you can list with a local brokerage for as low as $395. Contact Listing Spark today to find out how much your home is worth for free. See, it's simple. Call 800-MLS-LIST or go to listingspark.com. That's listingspark.com. Listing Spark. Thousands of Texan homeowners agree. Selling's better with a low flat fee.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Change is exciting, like moving into a new house or to a new city. Everything is new and different. Well, everything is also new and exciting with the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. From the design and styling to the performance and tech features, Kicks has been totally reimagined from the inside out. This city-sized crossover is ready to take on city life and have fun doing it. Head to NissanUSA.com to see it today.
It's football season, and Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food, whatever you're craving. From 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings. Uber Eats eye-dropping deals all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Well, we're seeing some stop-and-go traffic conditions on Highway 90 eastbound between Highway 211 and Loop 410. Currently about a 15-minute delay. There's also an accident reported now on I-10 eastbound at Loop 410. We'll check into the details of that. No problems on 410 eastbound as you move from 151 over to I-10. Michael Scott, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys fell to the San Francisco 49ers 30-24 for their fourth consecutive loss to those San Francisco dudes. Texas A&M took down LSU 38-23 to remain unbeaten in the SEC. The World Series continues tonight. First pitch at 7:08. The Dodgers hold a 2-game lead. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We've been talking some college foots. We talked some Cowboys earlier. We'll talk way more Cowboys. We're going to talk Cowboys a lot this hour. But before we do, I want to get into what happened in the rest of the NFL. This hour, we'll hear from Dakota Prescott. We'll hear from Michael McCarthy. And we'll hear doom and gloom is what we'll hear. Actually, we'll hear peaches and cream. It's going to be everybody's, oh, it's no worries. Nothing to worry about here. Nothing to fear. Have no fear.
Oh, he's frustrated though.
Dak or
he's
McCarthy?
Oh, everybody's frustrated.
I'm not trying to stir the pot anyway, but there was an interception on the sideline that Dak threw yesterday. He was targeting CD, and it looked like maybe CD could have put a little more effort into not letting it be an interception, but he didn't. And there was a lot of effort questions about the Cowboys yesterday. Trayvon Diggs came out and yelled at a reporter for questioning, or all he did was ask what was he doing on this play, where George Kittle ran 1,000,000 yards after Diggs missed a tackle, and Trayvon Diggs came out and said, you don't know football. You can't do what I do, which, yeah, I'm pretty sure that reporter can't do what Trayvon does.
I hate that.
And then my favorite part about the altercation was he says, well, do you want to talk about it anymore? And Trayvon said, we can talk about D's nuts. I was like, oh boy, when you're dropping D's nuts on reporters, you know, things are falling apart, and things are certainly falling apart for the Cowboys. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to get there, but that is the, I know that's what you are, but what am I? That kind of stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, what these nuts really? But anyway, as bad as it is, have we gotten, are we in the darkness? Have we found the New York Jets?
Well, no one's in the Jets' darkness.
Have we found?
Dude, I can't tell you how happy I was that the Patriots beat the Jets 25-22. Our friend Jimmy, who often who often texts me about his sports betting, and Jimmy's a terrible sports better. And
he really is.
He was texting me about the Patriots Jets. He's like, the Jets are going to ruin this for me. I was like, dude, you bet on the Jets? And I said, you deserve to lose. And he's like, well, the Patriots, they don't even want to win. And I was like, the Patriots don't have to win. They just have to not lose by a touchdown. And when the Patriots won that game, I didn't even feel bad for Jimmy because I did bet on the Patriots. But I was like, how could you buy into this? Aaron Rodgers after the game. In fact, Vic, go ahead and play Aaron Rodgers' quote after the game.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.
Are you sure that was Aaron Rodgers, Vic?
It was a tough day. It was a little off in the locker room.
Yeah.
He had come out of the shower and he was a little nasally, but I think that was him.
Yeah, he didn't sound
that,
too good.
I'm not sure that was. I think that was Bane from Dark Knight Rises.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Couldn't tell the difference.
Let's hear another quote and see if there's any other Aaron Rodgers sound that we have.
All right.
Yeah, I've been in the darkness. You got to go in there, make peace with it. Offensively, our goal has just got to be score 30. Doesn't matter what the other two sides are doing. You know, we have trust in our defense and teams. But if we're not scoring 30, we're underachieving. This offense can do that every single week.
Yeah.
There's a lot there, man.
This offense can score 30 every single week.
You ever licked a frog and gone into a cave?
I've been in the darkness, bro. I've been in the darkness. By the way, that offense that can score 30 every single week has yet to score more than 24 in a game all season long. So I don't know that they can put up 30 every single, because they've certainly shown no signs that they can.
Should we start a pout meter?
Dude, I don't know that. I don't know that
Devontae.
There's
like
no way to measure this.
No, I'm talking about the Tay pout meter. Like, remember the pout meter in Green Bay when he wanted to get paid? He started pouting, and he knew things were bad. And then he gets to Vegas, and they take away his quarterback, and then the pouts start. How long till we get the Tay? Like, hey, this place sucks.
Devontae, I told you this, and I said I'm not going to feel bad for him this time. I thought he got a raw deal in Vegas. I don't feel bad for him now because he chose this. And I said when he took this, when he pushed for this trade, Aaron Rodgers is nothing more than the name brand Gardner Minshew at this point. He is the Gucci Gardner Minshew right now.
He's the longest.
So you're paying
as a quarterback. Just throw a number out to give you an idea. Of all the starting quarterbacks, he's gone the longest without a 300-yard game. Anybody?
Dude, that's crazy. That has to be now that Deshaun Watson's out.
Yeah, seriously, it is. For number of games played, nobody has gone longer than Aaron Rodgers. This is the longest of his career, and you see no future to it. But they think there's something there, and until they admit that the problem with the Jets ain't the offense, it ain't the coach, it ain't the play calling, it's the quarterback. Until they admit that, or until they ram it into Aaron's face or turn on the lights and get him out of the darkness, they're going to continue to suck. What do you mean 30?
Dude, this is bringing me so much joy, Rob. I know I'm a hater. I know, but I don't care. It just makes me so happy to see him failing after all the talk and the fact that he's heading off to Egypt to do drugs during training. It's like, dude, you deserve every bit of this. It makes me so happy.
What do you think of Anthony Richardson?
I think Anthony Richardson is a bum. And I think Anthony Richardson coming up to the post-game podium after that game and saying,
I'm good.
I'm not going to lie.
I'm good.
I'm tired. You know what? Maybe consider lying. I think maybe you should have lied there. Because
it's in the Geneva Convention. You don't have to hold it against him if he says to be honest. It's in the Geneva Convention.
To be honest, I'm tired. Dude, well, you've taken 3 games off this year. Those 3 games, the Colts offense was better. Joe Flacco's better than Anthony Richardson. Like, I know people were hesitant to believe it, but Anthony Richardson is not good at football. Anthony Richardson looks like he should be really good at football, and he can throw the ball far and he can run fast. He sucks at football. And until the Colts figure that out, they're going to continue to suck at football.
I think they figured it out. They didn't figure it out yesterday. They got a pretty good idea. And it wasn't so much about on the field. He's raw. He is, but he's got some gifts. He does, and he's worthy of the effort,
baby.
But yesterday, everybody, all the Ursays, anybody who has any say with the Colts went, "Oh crap!"
Yep.
Oh no,
that was ugly. And that was, by the way, the Texans 23-20 win. The Colts had a chance to win that game. They were in that game despite the fact that Anthony Richardson stunk. 10 of 32, by the way.
That interception
10 of 32. I mean, that's not even real. 10 of 32. But yeah, the Texans didn't play great, and they gave the Colts a chance to win.
The Colts just have that mojo. They got something on the Texans. I don't know what it is, or they buried some kind of doll in the end zone there in Houston. But it doesn't matter how bad the Colts are. The Texans and the Colts, it's always going to be weird. I don't know why, but it was weird yesterday.
The second time in history the Texans have swept the Colts in a season. So that tells you how bad the mojo typically is. The Eagles 37-17 winners over the Bengals. The T. Higgins injury. Dude, how do you get hurt at practice on Friday, first of all? But
get fired on your day off.
I don't know that that's an excuse. Jalen Hurts just they pushed their way to a win, and this one got out of hand. This was a tale of two halves again, kind of like the LSU game. Felt like, man, the Bengals really had some success early on, holding Jalen down, holding Saquon down for sure. And then things just unraveled in the second half. The Eagles blow out the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's right, man.
I kind of thought it was going to go the opposite way. Now the Bengals are sitting at 3-5, 0-4 at home, by the way. The Bengals. The Ravens.
They got bullied.
Ravens fall to the Browns 29-24. Dude, I'm telling you, the Browns with Jameis Winston are a different team. They believe in Jameis Winston. Like, Jameis says all the right things. Like, they want to play with Jameis. This is such an indictment of Deshaun Watson. It is such an indictment of Deshaun Watson.
And Jameis is going to screw something up eventually. But until then, man, ride this wave. He is as good a front-running quarterback as there has been in history. When he's hot, he's as hot as anybody.
But you can tell that the Browns are fighting in a way that they haven't fought. And even defensively, to hold Derrick Henry to 73 yards rushing, that's like a big deal these days.
And this was on Harbaugh. I watched enough of that game. Baltimore was flat. They thought they were going to roll in and take care of business. They weren't ready. Then they couldn't find their way out. It's exactly the Harbaugh and the Ravens. Man, they had no business losing that. They really didn't. They should have, if they'd have given 75% effort, they'd have won that game. They just didn't care. They came in ill-equipped.
Speaking of effort, it seems the Lions give full effort every week. The Lions assault the Titans 52-14. I can't even blame Will Levis for this one, as he was inactive again. But the Lions are an absolute juggernaut right now.
Did you see the numbers in this game? Did you see how the Titans outgained them by 150 yards?
Yeah,
they scored 52 points on 200 yards of offense.
225 yards of offense, but that's what 4-0 turnovers will do for you. Also, just an embarrassing performance by the Titans. We'll take a look around the rest of the NFL on the other side, and then at 7:30 we'll dig deep into the Cowboys and hear some sound as well. I got to tell you guys about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog's a place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win some money while you watch sports. I was sitting there this weekend thinking, man, I wish I had my Underdog app available out here. Of course, it's not available out here in Vegas. It's a bummer because there's so much NBA going on, Major League Baseball going on, and of course, all the football games. I'm having a blast with this Underdog when I'm in Texas. And one of the first things I'm going to do when I get back is set my lineups for the NBA. And this season, they've got this special promo. They're boosting almost every single day. Profit boost. You can pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. They've got discounts, free picks, and it's boost over from now until October. I guess it's about to end October 27th. You can get a boost on any play, give you a better shot at a big win. And download the app. Sign up with promo code Alamo. Deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code Alamo. Must be 18 and up. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
I have to ask the sun. At some point, is that ever going to be addressed?
Talking about it
In the stadium, the 325 sundial effect. It just seems something that we can fix. Let's put some curtains up.
Okay. Noted.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game. In fact, mine and 10 million others are playing this every day because we know what we're doing. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on your sports action. Join me and so many others playing every day. You know why? Prize Picks invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Look, you know your sports. How many yards is CeeDee Lamb going to get this week? Is Jonathan Taylor going to get 85 or more? You know what you're doing. Go make your play. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? You know you play fantasy football. Put your knowledge to work. And remember, use the code Alamo, and there's $50 in it for you. Download the app now. Use Alamo. Play with your friends. It's the best way to have fun and get yourself in the game. Remember, Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can add to big payouts. Download the app today. Prize Picks. Run your game.
The Gomez Law Firm is proud to be San Antonio's trusted personal injury law firm for the past 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us. Your firm has been fighting for the people of San Antonio since 1973. That's incredible.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then turn to the law firm that will fight for you. Visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Halloween's coming alive at Target. Jackie and Gordy, the Jack-O-Lanterns, here with last chance Halloween deals. Looks like Mom's got the old pumpkin bucket stocked with the best candy, starting at $5.99.
Lucky pumpkin bucket. Oh, there's Dad party planning with a same-day delivery order.
Yes, it's a BOGO 50% off pizza party with Target Circle. Plus, buy 3, save 40% on soda 12 packs with Target Circle.
Nice saves, Dad.
Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Need it last minute? Get same-day delivery with Target Circle 360. Restrictions apply.
It's football season, and you know the best place to watch games is at the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road, with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. College, pro, the games are on at the Roo. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. You get the idea. And now get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
The time for holiday hosting is upon us, so make your second bathroom second to none with HomeDepot.com's best savings of the season. Right now, enjoy up to 40% off select online bath. Find the latest on-trend styles of vanities, faucets, showers, tubs, toilets, and more. All at prices that will let your budget relax right along with you and your beautifully renovated bath. Get up to 40% off select online bath plus free delivery at the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see HomeDepot.com/delivery for details.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Taking a look around the NFL, the return of Tua Tagovailoa, 28-27, the Cardinals fall in this one. Don't know that it was all Tua's fault necessarily. He didn't play great, but he didn't play, he didn't play terribly.
Let me ask you a question. As you didn't
right.
play great, didn't play terrible. How do you define MVP?
I mean, you the guy who is the most valuable to his team's success.
I think think about what we witnessed on this Miami team. Now, granted, a couple guys got healthy along with him. A-Chain back looked good, but
sure.
Think about what this team was and what we saw yesterday from. Yeah, like you said, this was average Tua. This wasn't good Tua.
But they still lost at home to the Cardinals.
But did you see them,
also?
Though? Did you see them, though? I mean, that team, I know, even in a loss, if you want to talk about the most valuable player in all of football, my gosh, you want to talk about an entire franchise that hinges on one dude.
Yeah, they for the first time in weeks, they didn't look completely inept on
offense. They looked like a pro football team. They lost to an average team, but my gosh, where they were just 2 weeks ago.
Speaking of what you're missing, the Falcons 31-26 winners over the Bucs. And the Bucs just with, I mean, it was basically Baker Mayfield and Cade Otton playing catch because there's nobody else on that team.
Speaking of MVP.
No Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. That's unfortunate. But man, Kirk Cousins, what a day. 4 touchdowns, no picks. And Bijan runs for 5 yards a carry. They ran the ball well. They chucked it around. This was a good day for the Falcons.
Was it good Kirk Cousins or good Falcons offense? What caused what?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think certainly when the run game is as successful as it was.
I mean, was it
opens
because
things up for Kirk?
Was it because Kirk? Watching Red Zone, I see touchdowns, but from what I saw, when you get good Kirk Cousins, and I don't know if it's because suddenly the run game is working, or at least they're trying it using Bijan and the myriad of other running backs they seem to roll out. I don't know if it's because Kirk is so dialed in that the run game's available, or suddenly the run game's available and Kirk is dialed in. But when you get good Kirk and good Atlanta Falcon, that's a pretty decent football team. But there's just not enough of that for me to. I mean, the Cowboys are going to get a good taste of a very precise offense. I just don't know if you can,
and that's going to be at home indoors.
Yeah.
So where he's even more comfortable.
Can you push him off his dribble? Like, as we say in basketball, can you get him off kilter? But right now, man, when they're crisp, that's a tough offense to slow down.
Then it certainly seems hard to want to bet on the Cowboys to do anything to throw. I mean, obviously you hope that you get Micah Parsons back next week, but yeah, the Falcons just feel like a better team than the Cowboys right now. The Packers get a 30-27 win at Jacksonville.
What's the kicker's name?
McManus, Brandon McManus.
Big nuts. These nuts.
Yeah, no
Big
doubt.
Nuts.
Gets the game-winning field goal as time expires. This was a good game. This was a well-fought game, although it was probably more well-fought because Jordan Love exited the game with an injury, and it left Malik Willis in charge. Although he played admirably.
Yeah, he looked good. I'll say this. As far as Jacksonville goes, do you get the sense they looked into the abyss? They were in the depths in Europe.
In the darkness.
Seriously. I mean, they're still not great, but at least they're going down swinging.
No, you're right. Yeah, this was a tough loss for them. Again, I think now they're pretty much looking at themselves and going, okay, yeah, it's over. But this is going to be a disappointing season for them because that division is not nearly as good, as some of these other ones. And the Jags had a chance to be in it. The Titans are so bad. Anthony Richardson. So that's what's wild is the Jags they still have the second best quarterback in their division, which is mind blowing.
That I had to go to counseling for that I would use in this moment, but I can't.
Oh, good call. And then the Chargers get a 26-8 win over the Saints. We see I'll tell you, Justin Herbert's offensive lineman, they love him. Cheap shot, like an ankle twist by the Saints D line, and we get almost a full-blown fight.
Riot.
Because Bozeman attacks the dude. And Justin Herbert had to pull his center off of the defensive lineman that just tried to hurt him. But the Chargers get a big win. They're now 4-3, and man, it's not. I wouldn't either.
They're
man.
the Arkansas
they are so
of the
good
NFL.
On defense.
They're the Arkansas of the NFL. They hit you so hard, you just get beat up.
It's a physical game, man, and I don't think there was any question that they hired the right coach, but they hired the right coach, and it ain't always going to be pretty. They're not going to put up a bunch of stats. But, man, they are going to be tough to beat. The Denver Broncos, 28-14 win over the Panthers, who are absolutely hapless. Bryce Young, 24-37, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. So he's had worse games. I guess we can say that. But Bo Nix, 3 touchdowns, no picks, just an efficient day, almost 300 yards.
I'll tell you what, man, there's something about Bo Nix. I don't know.
You didn't like him coming into the year,
I
though,
didn't.
Did you?
I felt like he just didn't have the arm strength. I just felt like, he's an athlete that was up behind the curve. And I think the combination of a wizard in Peyton and the way he coaches and handles quarterbacks and what might be the easiest schedule in all of football has kind of helped them out. I mean, the Broncos really don't play anybody hard. And whatever Bo Nix doesn't do or can't do, Peyton just doesn't let him do it. It seems easy, right? But that's kind of how they're winning.
They're going to have to play the Chargers twice. They're going to have to play the Chiefs twice.
Well, that's so far. That's what I'm saying. So far, this schedule's been pretty cake, man. They haven't had to play.
This is Sean Payton Sean Payton's a Parcells guy. And you remember Parcells' rules when it came to drafting quarterbacks. He wanted guys who were seniors.
Big
time. He wanted guys who played at big-time programs, and he wanted guys who won football games. And that's what Sean Payton was looking for. That's what he got with Bo Nix. And, it's nice seeing these guys like Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams who had short careers, and it's nice to see the way they're playing. But I think Sean Payton got the kind of guy he wanted.
Perfect.
Speaking of Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, what a finish to the Commanders-Bears game. First of all, the Commanders were better than them in this game. I would say it's unfortunate that that's what it had to come down to, but the Commanders were dominating this entire game until 30 seconds left. And the fact that they had cornerbacks on the field waving goodbye to Bears fans while Jaden Daniels is still running around for it seemed like an eternity. And just chucks a Hail Mary that pans out. Noah Brown comes down with a 52-yard Hail Mary. Although I think Jaden Daniels set the record for distance run before throwing a touchdown
pass. The total
pass.
Yards covered by that ball from snap to touchdown, it was well over 100.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the Commanders get a win, a deserved win, although it took a miracle to get it there. They like I said, they controlled this game, and to me,
I'm a believer.
What a great! I'm so glad that we got this matchup between Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. But Jaden Daniels is a dude, man.
I'm a believer, man. I'm more than Daniels. I'm a believer in the Commanders. When you see teams, this reminds me of the Texans last year. There's a playoff win in this team. This so much looks like the Texans, that they don't know what they don't know. They believe in themselves, and you got yourself a whiz kid at quarterback. So anything's possible, man. They are the Houston Texans 1 or 2.0, and I cannot wait to see, because they're getting better every week. This defense is stronger. You look at the weapons they bring on offense. Look out, man. The Cowboys situation is so much worse because Dan Quinn has the Commanders believing.
So the Lions, I would say, are better offensively than the Commanders. I don't know if there's another team in the NFC better on offense than the Commanders. It might be just the Lions.
Certainly nobody with more weapons. I will say that I'm watching that Philadelphia offense kind of find its way. It's not nearly as flashy, but just as effective when it's run well. Just warning you.
Yeah, we'll see how the Eagles hold up. The Eagles Commanders, I think, is like the middle of November. Yeah. So I think that the Eagles play the Commanders right after they play the Cowboys. So that'll be an interesting match. It might be a first place matchup.
It better be. If it's not, somebody's going to be in some trouble. Both those teams seem imminent for first and second.
Yeah, and they've got 2 games left to go. That's the Eagles have both games against Cowboys, both games against Commanders. They beat the Giants once. Yeah, last week they beat the Giants. So, the Eagles still have a lot in front of them, but they are starting to figure it out a little bit. I thought maybe there was maybe a little bit of overhype on the Eagles coming off the Browns and the Giants games. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's slow our roll, acting like the Eagles have figured things out. But this win at the Bengals impressed me. I mean, this was a dominant win.
Well, Saquon first, Saquon second. Remember, we got Saquon. That's just, you got to keep telling Sirianni that. We got Saquon. Remember this. Remember, we've got Saquon.
In the first half, they didn't remember it. Right. They were on their way to losing that game, and then they figured it out. All right, when we come back, we'll dig back into the Cowboys game. We'll hear some sound from the Cowboys. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
Ewald Kubota. You know, the orange tractor, those Kubotas you see on farms and ranches and on property all around Central and South Texas. Those orange tractors, when you see it, that you know that's a fine tractor. Now's the time to go get the tractor of your dreams, because until the end of the year, you got 0 down, 0 APR. You can get yourself in a beautiful Ewald tractor for under $300 a month. The BX23S tractor package is out there right now. I'm telling you, if it's time to break ground, if it's time to clear some property or get everything ready for the winter, you need to head by Ewald Kubota, because not only do you know you got a fine tractor to start with, but all the additions, the add-ons, the things that you need to keep your property clean. And if it's not the tractor you're chasing, you need yourself a lawnmower. Maybe it's an ATV. There's no better place to go than Ewald. 11 locations around South Texas. They've been in business for 75 years for one solid reason, is they treat you like family, and family runs Ewald Kubota. Let me tell you, from the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, for over 75 years, Ewald Kubota, it's your Kubota dealer.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
We've got a closure on the east side, I-10 eastbound between W.W. White and Loop 410 due to an accident. Got traffic backed up almost 20 minutes now from Houston Street. Still seeing some delays on eastbound Highway 90 between Highway 211 and Loop 410. Also southbound I-35 Evans to 1604. Currently about a 4-minute trip, couple of minutes on that delay. I'm Michael Scott, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing.
I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Joel, don't you just love Halloween? It's okay, but I do like your troll costume. I'm not wearing a costume. Folks, if your home's AC starts making those witching sounds or the pipes in your wall start moaning and clanging like ghosts having a party, call Quarter Moon at 651-5899 and we'll send our team of highly trained Ghostbusters. I was gonna say technicians. I ain't afraid of no clogs.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 651-5899. License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
Want to feel better and look better? Been experiencing dry skin, lack of desire in life, hair loss, brain fogginess, or low libido? Men, this goes for you too. All of this can be due to imbalances with your hormones, and we can help. Just taking hormones is not the answer. With state-of-the-art testing and customized wellness plans, we balance your hormones and get you well. It's what we do. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. Call me for your free evaluation, 468-1891.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar! La, 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 la.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, all the reaction from the Sunday night game between the Dallas Cowboys and San Francisco 49ers.
We'll also have reaction to UTSA's game against Tulsa. Jeff Traylor will join us at 5:15.
The Blitz, Monday at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Dallas Cowboys fall again. I don't know what the fix is. I don't know if there is a fix for the Cowboys. They're an absolute mess right now. I don't think this was one of those games where I had a hard time. Like if you said take away a positive, I mean, I guess defensively in the first half they played pretty well. Overall defensive, given the limitations of bodies that they have on defense, I would say they played pretty well.
No, I think that there's reasons and excuses. We're going to keep coming back to this. And, they're banged up. Obviously, they're hurt. Their offensive line is a shadow of what they hoped it would be due to injury and just ineptitude. But there was a time there was think back. I believe it was right in the middle of the second quarter where Bosa had just bum rushed and gotten an easy sack. In the next 3 plays, go back and look at the tape and watch what McCarthy did. they decided we're going to go right at Bosa. We're going to let him charge Prescott, and Prescott's going to have to be quick on the draw and get it over the top. And they moved the ball effectively. I thought that was as good a series of play calling as we have seen from the Cowboys all season long. So there was that. And we heard enough of it that they at least played tough football. They didn't get beat up like Detroit. That's a low bar. I mean, we're at a low bar, but at least they didn't get their ass kicked. They fought back. Now, we saw that in Baltimore, and we said the same thing a month ago. We said this. At least they didn't get their ass kicked. At least they showed some nutsack and, no, this is a bad team that got some garbage yards late that should have been far further behind than they were, but for a couple of weird holding calls that played as good as they could have. I mean, let's accept the fact that this is an average bad football team with holes at the worst possible places. And with all that, and you go, well, how'd they do? All right, they were close. They were within 6. I mean, if you look at it that way.
It could have been more embarrassing. It could have been the Detroit game.
Well, that Debo touchdown that was called back could have broken their back.
It really could have. Here's what Coach Mike McCarthy said, what went wrong in the game against the Niners.
Yeah, definitely. Third quarter was obviously a factor in the outcome. The 3-3 and outs on offense, and the one giveaway, and obviously their point and really production there. But yeah, I mean, you have ebbs and flows of the game. We definitely stayed in that valley way too long. So we felt solid at halftime. That they were +5 ahead of us in the big play. But Purdy, making plays with his feet, and the 3-3 and outs. We didn't give our defense any relief either, too. But I thought our guys did an excellent job fighting back in the fourth quarter. We just needed to make probably 1 or 2 more plays. Particularly on it, they still have a chance to go down and win it there in the last series on offense. So we're disappointed. I think our guys, our men really had a good week of preparation. I thought there's definitely areas of improvement, but still we have a ton to work on. I mean, it's there's some hard matchups throughout the game that we prepared for and we didn't get it done. So we have to go back and continue to work hard, in the planning part of it, because their key players were very productive, tonight. And so when you put together a plan to, for that, it's, you obviously need to execute it. And so coaches and players, we can learn from this. And, we're 3-4. That's the facts of this deal. But, I felt very confident, based off of the week preparation. We're disappointed. We're disappointed because we, obviously felt we were going to come in here and do what we needed to do to get the win. We came up short.
Their key players, who are the key players for? You're talking. I mean, I assume you're talking about George Kittle, because George Kittle basically did all the work.
Well, it was tight end day. He was destined to.
Debo had 4 catches. The key player in the run game was Jordan Mason. He was a non-factor after 2 drives. I mean, you had 2 guys to cover. Most of their key players are out. Christian McCaffrey's out. Brandon Ayuk is out. They don't imagine if they had the full complement of guys. How would you control their key players? I mean, that's a bad excuse by Coach McCarthy.
Well, I felt confident in our prep. I'd like to hear a coach come up on Monday. Go, I went into Sunday. I didn't feel very good. I went in, after what I'd seen in practice on Saturday, I was worried. I didn't think we had a prayer. I've never heard that.
Quite frankly, this was the best we could play. We were fully prepared.
If you'd have seen practice, I'm excited for these boys. If you'd have seen what we were doing for the last 3 days, these guys really stepped up to the plate and just lost. At least they just lost and didn't get their ass kicked. So, man, it could have been a lot worse. Any other questions?
Coach, what do you think about Dak continuing to give the ball to the other team?
I mean, when you look at interceptions, you can grade them and put them in buckets and categories. I think the first one, he had pressure. He had pressure in the B gap, and he had hits his feet, which took him late. Safety got to jump on the ball. So he wasn't able to get it to the back pylon. That ball should be thrown to the back pylon. So that was part of a little bit of my angst in play calling because of their ability to get pass rush with 4 rushers. So, and the second one is the spot wasn't clean, and I called it too early. We're about a yard. Was it third? Ended up being 3rd and 5. That's a better 3rd and 4 to 3 call. So the leverage wasn't there, and he's trying to make a play. We got to throw that ball away there. But I wish I had that play call back on the second interception.
It was 3rd and 5, and I made a 3rd and 4 call. Okay.
So is that the blue highlighter on that menu, the 3rd and 4 call?
Yeah, dude, that's a call I should have known better. That's a call I would only make on 3rd and 4, maybe 3rd and 3, but not leverage. 3rd and 5. Oh my God! By the way, that second pick,
it was all on Dak, man. That was
it was, but I won't even say all. I'll say about 75% because CD could have broken that ball up.
Yeah, maybe. And he CD doesn't like his quarterback.
CD was like, "You're an idiot for throwing this to me. You are a moron. This is what you get here, CD."
And really, that is something that we do need to monitor. That I don't think wide receiver and quarterback like each other.
No, I don't think so either.
And I think that as this deteriorates, and it's gonna,
and you're stuck with both.
This is something that can truly will kind of divine how the rest of the season goes. Can they get on the same page? Whether it be, can they be friends again? I don't give a damn. But can they, it felt like it was a force feed kind of situation on a couple of occasions. Like granted, there ain't a whole lot else out there to throw to because Turpin, dude, you dropped the ball. God. You dropped the ball, even though you would have landed out of bounds, which would have been your fault too. That was a perfectly thrown ball.
That was a good ball, and that was the best. I mean, that was the Cowboys' best chance to do something. So, that was, that's a bummer. But also like that's Cavante Turpin. Who did you think was out there?
Right. Like, so I can say you're force feeding him, but you're force feeding him because you don't have a whole lot of other options. But CD is not happy. It's evident. He doesn't feel like it's going his way, that his quarterback, and I think he's realized that, once Dak was signed, you're going to have to pay me through the nose because I know what's coming. I've been playing with this cat for a couple of years. And I think his nightmare came true.
Finally, they asked Coach McCarthy how he bounces back from this.
Oh, I think the response will be just what it was this week. We're just, I keep using the word green because I think that's a pretty good illustration of where we are and in segments of our team. Their team, we got to keep working. We did some things, but we got to stop the run and stay committed to the run for 4 quarters. I mean, until we get that pattern, working cohesively together, we're not playing to our strength. I mean, that's a huge part of the complementary football. We're losing the turnover ratio week in and week out, and we're not being able to stop the run and stay committed to the run for 4 quarters. So, that's how we have to play. That's how we're going to play. So, we need to be better at it.
Yeah,
you can't stay committed to the run for 4 quarters when you get less than 3 yards per carry. You just can't. And the Cowboys cannot run the football. This is one of those things. I don't blame McCarthy. Like, I know he's trying to say, like, we got to commit to it, dude. Your team sucks at running the football. Your offensive line is not good at it. Your running backs are no good. This cannot be a good running team. I don't care how well you coach them up because you don't have the personnel to be a running team.
We know it was coming.
That puts them in a weird spot because I do think McCarthy wishes that they could be more like run driven, but they can't because they don't have people to do it.
We knew it in training camp. This isn't a surprise.
No, you're right.
I mean, did we think that Dalvin Cook had been a joke that was going to come out and save the day? There's no running game here. There's no running game to be had. There's no offensive line to block for it. There's no talent to break anything more than maybe a 9-yard fall forward, 1 busted tackle run. And it's not going to be fixed. This is an unfixable problem. So what do you do when you wake up when you're 3-4 and for the next 10 games you can't run the ball? Only way you bust 100 yards is if somebody busts a 50-yarder. That's it.
And and you are a coach who is like he's an offensive line guy. He wants to run. He just can't.
No.
Dude,
No.
I feel for him there. Here's Dak talking about his problems turning the football over.
Yeah, not turn the ball over, period. As I said, I don't have to be perfect, but I damn sure can't be having the turnovers. As I said, I just got to eat that one, take that sack. And then the second one was as bonehead of an interception as I feel like I've had. Trying to make a play.
Forgot about last week.
Too much confidence in myself in that moment right there. Probably just should have. I mean, obviously should have just thrown it away. Would have. Wish I would have put a little bit more like heat on it, and therefore, I mean, it would have been CD or out of bounds. So, and then that one hurt. Starting off the third quarter that way, allowed them to get a touchdown there. Look at the end of the score. Touchdowns the difference. Once again, we put ourselves behind in the turnover battle, and that's on me. And can't have that if we plan to win games. And I've got to clean that up. Period.
Yeah, Dak is this version of Dak is just he's not a good quarterback. And you are paying a guy, again, I don't think this is like Deshaun Watson level disaster. Like I think that he's still a viable NFL starter, but Jerry right now has got to just be sick to his stomach knowing that had he let Dak play this out, he would have so much leverage. Like there's no way Dak would get the kind of money he just got playing like this, at least not from the Cowboys. No. And now, I mean, there's just no wiggle room for the future of this team. Dak, the next thing I want to hear from Dak is about that final drive where they worked so hard to get the ball back. And with the exception of that Turpin play, I mean, there wasn't even really much hope. But here's what Dak said about that last sequence.
Yeah, hell yeah, there's belief. I mean, that's all I can ask for. All this team can ask for is an opportunity. Ball in our hand, down 6, to go win the game. And first one, in cut, got to just put the ball higher. Nowhere else. I think in that moment, I mean, from my view, to go with the ball, just got to put it higher and/or scramble, create something with my legs being its first down. The second down play, they did a good job. Took Ferg away underneath, kind of bracketed this corner route, forced me out of the pocket. Third down, liked the matchup, took a shot, didn't convert it. And then on the fourth down, I got pressure early. I had to get out of the pocket and kind of put something up for hopes. Hope that there was contact on the end. Didn't go that way. 2 guys on 1. They made the plays when they needed to, and we didn't.
Yeah, that's
play-by-play.
One way to put it.
Yeah, you remember it all. You know what? That last series, that was a Jimmy's and Joe's kind of thing.
I think so too.
You know what I mean? I'm not mad at play
the fact
call.
that they had to throw it to Turpin there. Yeah. It's like, well, what are you going to do?
You didn't have the dudes. That was the fact that you were even there was a miracle. So we'll give you a lot of credit for getting there. But yeah, you just didn't have the guys to do what you needed to get done, and it wasn't just Dak; it was everybody out there. Just take away CD, and you're going to be all right. And that's basically what they did. Again, you wake up today, AJ, and I think there might be is there some clarity in the fact that this is just a bad football team? Do you think the coach woke up today and goes, well, at least I know where we are. I know who we are.
I mean, the coach can't say that, obviously, but yeah, I think in their minds, they kind of get it. They kind of realize now this team is not as good as they thought it was. I think Dak realizes it. Dak probably has a little of the imposter syndrome. Like now that he's paid like he's the highest paid quarterback in the history of time, he's probably kind of realizing, dude, I don't belong here. This isn't what I am. Like I'm a good player, but I'm not this kind of player. And now that expectation is all on him.
And, you know what? I think there's some realization. The way he went play-by-play like that, there was really not a lot of emotion there. It was kind of like, well, when you break it down to brass tacks, we just don't have the guys. Me included.
I think you're right. And finally, they asked Dak about the start to the season, where his mind's at.
I mean, me personally frustrated myself that my play. I imagine the rest of the guys are not getting the win. 2 in a row, sitting at 3 and 4. But I can definitely tell you, that nobody's shaking or giving up. Frustration is very high, but it's a long season. I mean, it's a long season. Division games, a lot are still ahead of us. Frustrated. That's the best way that I can put it.
Well, I don't know. Frustrating's right. A lot of it's on Dak. It's not all on Dak, but a lot of it is. Now, I think that Dak would have gotten his money somewhere, but I think Jerry's realizing that he didn't have to be the one to pay him. And now it's like, now he's stuck with this dude who's just
you think I'm an idiot?
Yeah, I kind of do. He's a good, not great player, is what it is. All right. When we come back, we'll dig into some Spurs. Spurs get the Rockets tonight. Morning Huddle 94.1.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville. 1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday at noon, the back-to-back road trip ends in Atlanta with the boys taking on the Falcons.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 11. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
You asked for it, you got it. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station when you buy a Connecticut water softener. A free drinking water system installed at your kitchen sink with the cleanest, best-tasting water you've ever had. Better for your coffee maker, better for cooking, better for everything. Free with the purchase of a Connecticut water softener, but only for a limited time.
Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
And is the last water softener you'll ever own. Right now, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking water station when you buy a Connecticut water softener. This is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call us at 656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com. And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Kinetico.
When I wake up
the best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
Pull on my jeans and I feel all right.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies, first aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel, chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2, at T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
With 24-month bill credits, eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits, and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Macy's Friends and Family is going on right now, and it's the best time to shop for all the gatherings and gifting ahead. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off the latest trends, new arrivals, and the best brands like Karl Lagerfeld Paris, Steve Madden, Hotel Collection, and more. And get 15% off beauty too. Plus, get free shipping with any $25 purchase today at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
An accident on the northwest side, Loop 410 eastbound approaching Jackson Keller. You've got just the left lane getting by. This is a massive delay, an hour all the way back from Ingram Road. If you're traveling on the northeast side, southbound at Weidner, they're still working on a crash. That one at last check was off to the right shoulder. A little bit of slow traffic northbound on 410. From 35 up to Highway 90, about a 5-minute delay. I'm Michael Scott on KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys fell to the San Francisco 49ers 30-24 for their 4th consecutive loss to those San Francisco dudes. Texas A&M took down LSU 38-23 to remain unbeaten in the SEC. The World Series continues tonight. First pitch at 7:08. The Dodgers hold a 2-game lead. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 3 of the huddle. Before we get into the Spurs Rockets game tonight, I want to address something from the Brigade Bar. Jack says you guys are as wishy-washy as Dak's play is. Over the course of the summer, when contract talks were underway, you both were like, you got to give him the money.
No, we were
not.
I was not. Check the tape.
Yeah, you're not thinking of the right show, friend. I said, let the guy play it out. Let's see what happens here. No, I think outside of Minix, there was nobody on this radio station saying that, was there?
I can just speak for myself. And as for me, I told you from the get-go, it was nuts.
This show was not pro paying Dak the money that he got until he, like I said, if he wants to come in and earn it and, you know, he takes him to a Super Bowl, fine. But yeah, no, you got the wrong show on that one. That's just fundamentally false. I didn't say it, and I know Rob didn't say it. So no, you are misinformed about who was saying what. There's no wishy-washy here. The Spurs got a win on Saturday over the Rockets. I didn't get to see it live.
It was a fast start, a stumble, and then a reactive win. It was a good kind of game they wouldn't have won this time last year.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like at one point they were blowing them out by, I think I saw they were up by 21 or something one time when I checked. A much better game for Wemby, obviously. Just the stat line tells you that. and a much better shooting night overall. There was only 23-point attempts. 40% of them went in.
Yep.
I'm for that.
That is the number. That is the line. 40%. Whatever you got to stay at to shoot at 40% is the line. It's not volume.
And if it's 8 of 20, I'm fine with that.
40%.
8 of 20 is awesome. The Rockets shot 13 of 41 from 3. So that means they hit 5 more 3-pointers, but they missed a lot more. And I'll take that better percentage all day. Now, this is such a weird scheduling thing because it's another home game for the Rockets. They get back-to-back home games against the same team. Do you feel like the win was generally a matchup-related thing? Do you think the Spurs matched up well against the
Rockets couldn't shoot. I mean, they shot themselves in the foot. They couldn't hit a bucket to start the game. And the difference of the Spurs, let me add my sentences together and subtract. Let's start over. The Spurs' primary difference this year is Chris Paul. There's the dumb factor has been eliminated most of the time. You just don't see the dumb play or the missed opportunity. The dumb plays are gone. Well, I shouldn't say gone. The dumb plays are very much decreased, but opportunities are taken advantage of. And Paul is the beginning. He is the OG Lob City dude. I mean, if there's an opportunity to meet the ball at the rim, and when you're out on the court, Chris Paul will give it to you. You know, if you get to the rim, the ball will be exactly where you want it. And it just makes the game different at that point, where there's always a plan B. No matter what's going on, if you can shade your dude and get to the rim, Chris Paul will see you do it, and you'll get the ball. And Sohan, by the way, is benefiting. Sohan is, of all the Spurs, Jeremy Sohan is the most improved Spur.
From what I've seen so far, you're right. And when we went to that preseason game, and I said, "Oh, I don't like this kid," you were like, "Oh, you'll come around on him." You know what? You know what his 3-point line was in that game? 0 of 1. I like that. As long as Jeremy Sohan doesn't believe he's a shooter, I'm down with his game. It's just the problem was that when I saw him, he was just chucking up bad threes, and I was like, I don't want to see that.
But he is now shading to the rim. He is getting opportunities, and that little brief stint at point guard has really helped his all-around game. Kudos to Pop again. This was a good win against an average team. But I'll tell you this: we have a burgeoning kind of a David Robinson Dirk thing forming. Sangoon, and Wemby. This is something that's going to grow into a fun matchup. It might be more of a contested matchup than that with Chet in Oklahoma City.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't think so. I still think those two are going to be the ones that get measured against each other. But
I think Chet will be measured against Wemby no matter what. But watch the way Sangoon plays Wemby. He brings every forearm possible. It is a physical battle for Wemby. It's fun to watch him mature because last year Sangoon beat him up a couple of times.
One of the other things I noted from that game on Saturday was they shortened the lineup a little bit, shortened the rotation, and Wesley looked like he only got a few minutes when it was a blowout. Otherwise, it was like, I mean, it was the 5 starters. It was Castle, Keldon, and a little bit of Zach Collins. And that was basically it. Mamu didn't even get into the game.
No, Collins played well enough for him not to have to get in. And let's give some love to Malachi Brenham. Some solid minutes late in the game. When they needed some buckets, Malachi came and got a few that I didn't think he was capable of. And I do believe he's sitting about 13th on the bench right now. So good depth there.
So now tonight we find out if it was like you said, just poor shooting. We'll see how the Rockets adjust, because this was like I said, this was a blowout at one point and ends up being a tightly contested game at the end. It's a 3-point win for the Spurs, but they had to blow a big lead to make it a 3-point win. Did the Rockets figure something out late in that game, or can the Spurs respond? But either way, should be an interesting matchup tonight. You have a feel for if the Spurs stay hot here?
Well, again, the Rockets were out of the game by the end of the first quarter. They had just shot themselves out of the game, and they're just not a disciplined enough team to really control a game against a guy like Wemby. That game got away from him. I don't expect that to happen again. That comeback showed exactly what they're capable of. Well, I did notice one thing I want to start keeping track of is, Wemby's going to have to come up with a go-to, a thing, other than a dunk. I mean, other than an alley-oop. The 3-point's easier, and I think he's rounding into one. Pay attention to how he gets himself into the paint and this ball fake up and under move that's becoming kind of his go-to move. Watch him, how you can't not jump when a 7'4" dude ball fakes you.
I don't know.
Watch this. He has worked so hard on this ball fake up and under that I think you realize
everybody falls for it.
Everybody at 7'4", you have to jump. You can't not jump, because even if he doesn't jump, he's probably still taller than you. So you got to go up. And that step through, I think right now, is worth about 8 points as long as the double team is not in front of him.
Well, I'm no basketball coach, and you actually have been. But wouldn't you tell your people, like, hey, dude, you're not going to block that shot. Don't jump up going for the ball. Put your hand in front of his face. That way you don't have to leave your feet, and you can still be in a decent guarding position. Because even if he jumps, you're not going to block his shot. So don't try.
I think it's because a ball fake from a dude taller than you is just about impossible not to respect. And it's like hitting a funny bone. You're off the ground before you realize it. Now, you don't jump initially when a guy's shorter or even than you, but tall dudes, for whatever reason, and he is taller than everybody else on the court. So every time he ball fakes, anybody even close to him goes up. Until he's realized it has been. It's one thing to know. It's another thing not to do it. Because the moment you don't, he's dunking on you. You're looking down at a dunk or looking up at a dunk. So talk about go-to moves. He took Sengun twice on that the other night. And I think it's something that is worth paying attention to as we head toward Wemby and closeout moments and things like that, because all you got to do is throw it high to him in the paint. It's very difficult to defend this thing.
Well, there was one one thing I saw from Wemby where he was like, he was winded, and he was saying that he found it a little bit hard to be playing basketball again. I was like, oh boy, I hate hearing this start of the season. But he certainly looked a lot better, a lot fresher in game 2. So hopefully we get, it was just to maybe knock off a little rust, and hopefully we get a good game 3 tonight. The Spurs have this one, and then on Wednesday they're at OKC for the first of a back-to-back, at OKC and then at Utah. So this is a busy week for the Spurs. They're playing between now and November 2nd. They play 4 games, so that's a hell of a run. We'll see how. Hopefully that what he's talking about being winded, stuff like that. That was just a first game back, playing full-time minutes. I hope that's not an issue. But
from the mouth of the babes, I think every player gets a little winded. They just don't say it.
Maybe so. Yeah. Maybe so. Maybe something you just don't. We're not used to hearing out loud. But so this another division game tonight. Hopefully the Spurs can get a little separation here and get this season started off on the right foot. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk some more college football. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
I'd like to say it was a circus. Just do that, because that would make more sense. Would you go to a tour in Jerry World? I don't know. I would.
Speaking of circus.
Jerry World. Step right up, everybody. You'll see Jerry Jones.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Programs and new laws about agent commissions, it's gotten so confusing. Know what's not confusing? Paying someone a low, flat fee to sell your house. And that's where Listing Spark comes in. Listing Spark is Texas' flat fee real estate company. Flat fee selling is sweeping the nation because it's faster and it keeps more money in your pocket. In fact, professional real estate investors have known about it for years. With Listing Spark, you don't have to pay hefty agent commissions, and you don't have to leave money on the table. If you have a house worth $400,000, you actually sell it for $400,000 without paying $24,000 in agent commissions. And get this, if you get started today with Listing Spark, you can list with a local brokerage for as low as $395. Contact Listing Spark today to find out how much your home is worth for free. See, it's simple. Call 800-MLS-LIST or go to listingspark.com. That's listingspark.com. Listing Spark. Thousands of Texan homeowners agree. Selling's better with a low flat fee.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game. In fact, mine and 10 million others are playing this every day because we know what we're doing. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on your sports action. Join me and so many others playing every day. You know why? Prize Picks invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Look, you know your sports. How many yards is CeeDee Lamb going to get this week? Is Jonathan Taylor going to get 85 or more? You know what you're doing. Go make your play. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? You know you play fantasy football. Put your knowledge to work. And remember, use the code Alamo, and there's $50 in it for you. Download the app now. Use Alamo. Play with your friends. It's the best way to have fun and get yourself in the game. Remember, Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can add to big payouts. Download the app today. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. Recently, we've all seen advertisements from attorneys here in San Antonio saying their firm does not get paid an attorney fee unless there's a recovery. And maybe you've heard, we don't get paid unless you get paid, or words to that effect. Well, that is what I've been doing for more than 30 years. I honestly did not know that there were attorneys in San Antonio that would represent an injured client and charge a fee if there was no recovery. You see, I practice law with basic principles, one of which is you never need an excuse to do the right thing. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, including a commercial or business vehicle, an 18-wheeler, call me. The phone call and consultation is free. If you hire me, I will not get a fee unless there is a recovery. And this has been true for me and my firm for more than 30 years. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. Or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
What's that? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Big weekend in the college foots this weekend. And we talked a little bit about the wins for Bevo and Aggie. I think that might be a season-defining win for Texas A&M.
Oh, it is.
It
so far
looked like they were in trouble and completely turned things around in the second half, which I think it is about 50-50 share of A&M should be lauded for making the change, being willing to make the change that they needed to make. And 50% of the blame has to go on to Brian Kelly, whose teams continue to not be able to finish football games. And they could not make any kind of an adjustment. And it wasn't a secret. It wasn't a secret what was going to happen. It wasn't a secret that he wasn't going to be throwing the ball around on you. You had to stop one thing, and they couldn't do it.
Yep.
But like I said, I think really a season-changing win for the Aggies. Elsewhere in college football over the weekend, Oregon decimated Illinois. Oregon's for real, Rob. I think they may be the team to beat.
The thing that is so frightening about Oregon is not just that they've got Gabriel and good quarterback play or speed at the skill positions, is that defense hits you like a Big Ten defense hits you. That you talk about Texas being prepared to get into the SEC, and you can see the difference between what Texas brought to the table and OU. Oregon came to the Big Ten ready. That's a big, strong defensive football team.
Penn State gets a 28-13 win at Wisconsin despite losing Drew Aller. And I don't know how long Drew Aller is going to be out, but that's something Penn State's going to need if they're going to continue to do what they are hoping they can do. As they sit at 7-0 now.
Knowing Franklin, and knowing what Penn State has been, that was a hell of a win.
Yeah,
I mean, I know it's Wisconsin. It ain't that big a deal, but on the road, that's a game Penn State loses 9 times out of 10 in the last 5 years.
No, I think you're right. And to get through that one without their quarterback, I thought was a big deal. Ohio State survives over Corn. They were down. Ohio State was down to Nebraska with 6 minutes left in the game. And Ohio State got that touchdown and gets the win 21-17, but not a comfortable win by any stretch. And after watching Nebraska lose by 1 million to Indiana a week ago to come in and almost beat Ohio State, I think this may be more about Ohio State than it is Nebraska, or maybe it says something about Indiana. I don't know.
Does it? I mean, at what point do we start to kind of have to believe in this crap?
Miami blows out Florida State. Florida State's so pathetic.
I thought Florida State would put up something, an in-state rivalry. I mean, you're playing against dude you played against in high school, and you got pasted like that.
You can poke Florida State with a stick. I don't think they're going to move. I mean, that is a dead team. BYU continues to prove me wrong. 37-24 win on the road in the bounce house. That's a good win, man.
Did you see post game as the Knights are walking off the field and the fan section right where the tunnel is was clapping about Fire Malzahn?
Yeah.
I mean, he just got there.
Dude, that's tough.
They're already done with it.
Notre Dame absolutely crushes Navy 51-14. And this is what I kind of talked about with this game. I'd normally love to back service academies as big underdogs, but when you looked at Navy's schedule and what they had seen so far this year, there wasn't a single good defense on that list. And Notre Dame came in with a real defense, shut down that Navy attack, and just crushed them in the lines and ends up with a blowout win. And Notre Dame's worked their way back into the conversation. It's so funny that embarrassing loss to Northern Illinois has dropped them so far, and rightfully so. I mean, you can't get away with that. But again, that Northern Illinois kicker, if he misses that kick to win the game, we're talking about an 8-0 Notre Dame, who's probably the number 2 team in the country.
It'd be them in Texas. Yeah.
And it would be them in Oregon.
I mean, Oregon, I'm sorry.
And like Notre Dame, in hindsight, that win over Texas A&M is aging very, very well.
And on vice versa, it's also helping A&M on the other side. It turns out Notre Dame pretty much better than everybody thought.
Yeah, this Notre Dame team is pretty good. Indiana 31-17 win over Washington without Curtis Rourke. So you're missing your starting quarterback. Indiana continues to just dominate. this is, I want to say it was the only team, they might be the only team through 8 games to not trail at all in any of their games.
That's the case, yeah.
That's unbelievable. They have not even sniffed being down in a game. And to do this without their guy, without Curtis Rourke, who's been so good, very impressive. When they get him back, I mean, Indiana's worth noting. Like, this isn't by an accident. Now I think we need to start taking this team pretty seriously.
And, you know what? They just pantsed Nebraska. Just embarrassed them, pulled the pants down, and embarrassed them. And what Nebraska is capable of, we saw this week. They're not that bad. That was the convincing thing for me. Now, they're November the 23rd, Indiana at Ohio State. They'll have the chance to prove it.
Yep. They got 2 games before then, the 2 Michigan schools, which, you know what, if they keep winning those, let's think about that, Rob. If they're 10-0 going into that Ohio State game, let's say they don't get blown. I mean, let's say they lose a competitive game to Ohio State. 11-1 in the Big Ten,
they're in.
They're going to be in.
Yeah, they're in.
They have to be in. So I'm watching this Indiana team. If they get Curtis Rourke back and healthy, they need him to have a chance against Ohio State. But these 2 Michigan games, the Michigan State and Michigan the week after, both very winnable games at this point, I think, for Indiana, who is just, you talk about making the right hire. They've made the right hire.
The more you see him interviewed, the pieces that they've done on him as we get to know the national story on him, it was phenomenal. I didn't know that way back when he was on Saban's staff. I didn't realize that.
I love this dude.
Yeah.
I love that he'll rub it in your face too. He's my kind of coach. Alabama blows out Missouri. I think this is more about Missouri than Alabama. I think Missouri's an absolute fraud. They're just not good. 34-0 win for the Tide. Missouri didn't even put up a fight.
They were never in it.
And,
yeah, that's unfortunate.
And Alabama needed to get right. And Missouri certainly let them get right here.
I'll tell you, that Missouri team, there are 2 first-round draft picks on that team. Their wide receiver and that running back, I'm impressed with both those
Well, they
guys.
didn't have the running back.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that
Brady
team
Cook
has talent on it when
Brady
they're fully
Cook
staffed.
played. He wasn't supposed to play, and he played, at least started, and then left the game. But they just didn't have the body. But you know what? Fully healthy, they weren't winning this game.
No.
They're just not that good. Kansas State 29-27 win over Kansas. It came down to the very end there. Kansas put up a good fight, couldn't quite get the job done. Ole Miss gets a 26-14 win over Oklahoma. Not as impressive as I would have liked to see.
They were down, man. Was it 14-0 or was it 14-3?
14-7.
14-7.
And then they shut down Oklahoma in the second half. Oklahoma's just pathetic. And then SMU sneaks one out in overtime over Duke. 28-27. They blocked the kick. They blocked the Duke had a potential game-winning kick at the end of regulation, and SMU blocked it and then wins in overtime. So a good win, a hard-fought win for SMU, a team who's sitting at now 7-1 and is certainly in the mix of things. And it leads to a pretty good matchup this weekend between them and Pittsburgh, as Pitt is still somehow sitting unbeaten at 7-0. So you get 7-0 Pitt against 7-1 SMU this weekend. Good ACC game, and then of course you still have 8-0 Miami and 6-1 Clemson sitting at the top of the ACC. So there's some things to be hashed out in the ACC this weekend. And then elsewhere in the great state of Texas, we had the Baylor Bears get a 38-28 win over Oklahoma State. Boy, that TCU Texas Tech game was good. 35-34, TCU rips the heart out of Texas Tech.
We got to talk about this story.
All right.
The kicker, for those of you who didn't see, the kicker for Tech scored on a trick play touchdown.
Yeah.
And ran out and pulled up his shirt and had a MAGA Trump thing on his shirt. And then promptly went out after scoring the touchdown to get him in contention. Missed the field goal to win the game.
I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine that coaches are thrilled about political statements from players. And I get it. You don't want to tell kids to just shut up and dribble. but
there's a time and place.
That didn't seem like the right move, but and Houston gets a 17-14 win over Utah, over the corpse of Utah. Boy, they are so bad without their quarterback, and it just seems like everything's kind of falling apart there. Elsewhere in the Big 12, the other big game of note, Colorado, a 34-23 win over Cincinnati.
Very quietly.
Colorado bowl eligible Colorado. How about that?
I just said quietly. I mean, maybe sometimes it's better to operate in the shade.
It might very well be. Well, there was one other team of note and a loss of note in the state of Texas, and that was UTSA. And that was a crippling defeat, I think, for UTSA, who gets outscored 22-3 in the fourth quarter, 39-10 outscored in the second half. They were up in that game 35-7 at the half and did not pull it off. I imagine we don't have a thrilled Coach Traylor coming up with us at 9:00, but we will talk to him at 9. When we come back, we'll take a look at the playoff odds now, see where we're sitting, what the odds are for these teams to get in, and who we think's in, who we think's out. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I got to tell you guys about Karbach Brewing. Sure missed that about Texas. There's no Karbach up here in Las Vegas. Well, there is sometimes, but very rare. And that's the thing about Texas is you guys might not realize it, but just about everywhere you're at, there's Karbach. You can grab yourself some when you go out to the bars. You go out to a restaurant. They've got Karbach on tap almost everywhere in San Antonio. They've made a real push into that market. And if you're tired of drinking the same old thing, give them a shot. The Love Street Blonde. If you're into a lighter beer, that's a perfect beer for you. If you like an IPA, the Hopadillo is a great choice. Super hoppy. The Hop Monster on the front of the can tells you all you need to do. And then the Crawford Bock, which is one of my favorites. It's my favorite everyday drinker. And you'll notice that with the red and orange and yellow cans, the striped can with the H on it. But just because it's branded for Houston doesn't mean it's not for you guys in San Antonio. What a great beer and what a great brewery. And again, like I said, it's probably in more places than you think. So when you're out and about, when you're out at a restaurant, when you're out at a bar, wherever you're at watching Monday Night Football tonight, ask your bartender to please make it a Karbach.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Well, they're working on that wreck on Loop 410 eastbound approaching Jackson Keller. You got just the left lane getting by. This is an hour and 20-minute backup now. Traffic at a standstill from Ingram. They're traveling on southbound I-35. That wreck at Wheatner is still active on the right shoulder. About a 10-minute onlooker delay from Maury Richards. Michael Scott, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
This Saturday, be at the Alamo Dome as your UTSA Roadrunners take on the Memphis Tigers. And remember to wear black. It's the lights out game and UTSA salute to local businesses. Tickets start at just $21 at GoUTSA.com. It's the UTSA Roadrunners hosting the Memphis Tigers this Saturday in the Alamo Dome. Kickoff at 11 a.m. Visit GoUTSA.com to secure your seats now. UTSA football. It's more than a game. It's an experience.
George gets justice.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Want to feel better and look better? Been experiencing dry skin, lack of desire in life, hair loss, brain fogginess, or low libido? Men, this goes for you too. All of this can be due to imbalances with your hormones, and we can help. Just taking hormones is not the answer. With state-of-the-art testing and customized wellness plans, we balance your hormones and get you well. It's what we do. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. Call me for your free evaluation, 468-1891.
Get huge savings during the fall sales event at Ancira Nissan on IH-10 West. At Ancira Nissan, lease this 2025 Sentra S for just $218 per month for 36 months, or this 24 Rogue SV for just $258 per month for 36 months. Stop in or check us out at AnciraNissanSA.com. The fall sales event at Ancira Nissan on IH-10 West between Wurzbach and Heidner.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
This new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday at noon, the back-to-back road trip ends in Atlanta with the boys taking on the Falcons.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 11. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
You asked for it, you got it. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let me do a little housekeeping here on the program. First of all, Monday Night Football tonight. Catch the Giants and the Steelers. Starts at 6:30 with your pregame Monday Night Football presented by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. You better hear that right here on San Antonio's Sports Star.
I think I might go the Spurs instead. That's not a lot of there tonight.
What do you mean? A matchup between Russell Wilson and Daniel Jones doesn't appeal to you?
Not a lot of there.
Okay. All right. Well, fine. And listen, you got to make sure the Giants lose so the Cowboys don't fall into last place.
Gosh, that would be terrible, wouldn't it?
Elsewhere, if you would like a World Series ring, a Rangers World Series ring, we still got a couple of those to give away. Let's do if you follow SA Sports Star on Instagram, that's what you got to do. You got to be following us on Instagram and send a direct message and just say ring, please. And one of you who does that will get yourself a ring. So just send a DM to the SA Sports Star Instagram. You got to be following, by the way, and say ring, please. And one of you will be rewarded with one. And I want to reward someone with a $50 gift card to the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill.
What?
It's over 11647 Culebra. I ate some Greek food yesterday. Oh, so good. But I haven't been to the Great Greek. I got to try this thing. I don't get a $50 gift card like one of you guys is going to get, but maybe you can tell me how good. Maybe you want to take me out on a date.
That might be the only way I buy lunch.
If you're a handsome guy and you win this gift card and you want to take me out on a date, fine, so be it. But let's go caller number 5. You'll win a $50 gift card to the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill $50 in Greek food. That'll go a long way. So congratulations there. And now I've got another place to try in San Antonio. How
Some
about that?
couscous, a little bit of the tabbouleh,
Yes.
a little bit of the
yes.
Greek salad, a little bit of the lamb,
Some baba ganoush.
Some baba ganoush. Is that Greek?
Yeah.
Baba ganoush?
Yeah.
I just like
believe.
saying it. I'm not sure what it is.
I don't know. It's some kind of, I think it's a,
I'll have the baba ganoush and a side of gabagool.
Well, I think
Keep
that's
that
not,
with you.
That one's not Greek. We will talk to head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners, Jeff Traylor, coming up in the next segment. Like I said, I don't think he's going to be particularly thrilled.
They played 3 quarters of excellent football, AJ. He should be 3 quarters happy.
Something tells me that the last one is going to matter the most to him.
Oh, well, that's why
I've been wrong
coaches
before.
That's why coaches are such a high-paid lot. I mean, my goodness, most of us do 75% of a job. We get applauded for it.
Usually.
Normally, you walk in, you did 75% of your job today. That's a solid C. Attaboy, Thompson.
That'll do. Good
Take
job,
your average
buddy.
ass home. And you know what? I would gladly go on home with a solid 75.
Let's take a look at the college football playoff expectations. And this is it changes every week now, but it is a fascinating market to see like who
we're getting closer and closer to locked in to some.
I think so. We're definitely starting to see teams fall by the wayside. But LSU, who a week ago had the exact same odds as Texas A&M, like they were both basically a pick 'em to get in, and with that one game, LSU is now plus 200. Texas A&M is minus 125. So now you can get better than 2-1 odds if you think LSU finds their way back into it. But I just think I think that was the end of LSU season.
Yeah, feels like
there's
SEC's nuts, but it's going to take something happening from somebody else other than what LSU does for them now to get in.
But it does seem the number one right now. I think if you were predicting the top 12, you would have your buys would go to Oregon, probably Georgia, Penn State, and I guess, or not, I shouldn't say Penn State because Oregon will be the 1 seed. Penn State won't be the 2 seed. I guess it'd be you have to go down to, I guess, Miami is the highest rated.
Probably the next undefeated team.
And then I guess BYU or Iowa State, one of those teams will be in the top 4, which is so weird to think about. And, but I do think when you look at the teams that feel like they deserve to be there, you go down that list, and A&M has certainly joined that list. Penn State and Ohio State are still on it. Texas is still on it. I would say Indiana, I mentioned earlier, sitting at 8-0. I think they deserve to be in that conversation, even with a win against, or even if a loss against Ohio State. What they've done better than anyone, and we know this is going to be a factor, Rob, style points. If you don't have a super strong schedule, make it look that way. And Indiana's, when they beat everybody by 100 points, it's like, okay, yeah, and I think people want to see them.
I agree.
Big thing happened out here in the desert over the weekend. Boise State got a win over UNLV, a hard-fought win over UNLV. UNLV did a really good job of limiting Ashton Genty, which no one else has been able to do. But now Boise is in a really good spot when it comes to that group of 5 spot, although Army still has something to say about it.
Let me tell you.
But Navy being knocked off helps Boise too.
That Friday night game, that Boise game, the best thing that could have happened, I think, for Boise was for them to win without Janty doing what he was capable of. You know what I mean? That was a tough football game, and their best guy got taken out of it. So
and then
they earned it.
And then Clemson and Tennessee both still sitting at 6-1.
One of those is going to be gone. What I can't imagine both Clemson and Tennessee will be in the playoff. I feel like of all the possibles, one or both will be gone.
Well, Clemson's so going through the odds, Oregon is minus 3,500. Like, I don't know what could happen to Oregon at this point for them not to make the playoff. Georgia minus 1,600, Ohio State minus 1,200, Texas minus 1,000. So those are your four that are like, that the market at least feels like are almost locks. Penn State's minus 750, Miami minus 650. Those two probably feel pretty comfortable.
They should.
Then you get to Clemson and Boise and Notre Dame are all minus 200. Tennessee's minus 175. Iowa State minus 135, A&M minus 125, Alabama minus 105. Everybody beyond that is either even or plus money. BYU and Indiana, even money. Kansas State plus 140, SMU and Ole Miss plus 175. The one that makes you go, Pitt, unbeaten Pitt plus 450 tells you what people think of them. And then unbeaten Army plus 1,500. So if you think Army still has a chance, which I kind of do, I don't think Army's going to get beat by Notre Dame the way that Navy did, at least not in that fashion. I think Army's live against Notre Dame, but 15-1 on your odds. So if you think, I mean, you're not going to get better than plus 1,500 on the money line with Army against Notre Dame.
Army's not getting
So if you think Army can beat Notre Dame, it's much better to bet Army to make the playoff than it is to just beat Notre Dame. Let's just put it that way.
Have to do a lot more than that.
But yeah, I think we're starting to run out of teams. I think, like I said, LSU, I think worked their way out this weekend.
Ole Miss still could hover around there. Alabama, there's still some peripheral. Yeah, you're right. But there is the weight of the SEC, and they're going to get a national venue to do whatever they have to do. And if they can do it and other things stumble, I think there's still a flux of the 12. I think we got 50% of them are in one way or another, but there's 6 teams that I still could come or go.
They're still fight. I think the bottom of the SEC is interesting. I think how many teams the SEC gets in is interesting. When I say the bottom, I mean the bottom of the contenders.
Right.
But I think it's interesting to see how many schools the SEC gets in and how many the ACC will get in, just because the way their scheduling works out this year, somebody's going to get in that didn't even have to play in the conference championship game. And the loser of the conference championship game may be knocked out of the mix by and the SEC and the ACC are both going to maybe face this predicament where you might have to punish the team for going to the title game, which doesn't feel fair, but them's the breaks. You got to start. I guess you basically just have to treat your conference championship game like it is a playoff game.
It's one of those coaching issues that the championship game for most coaches is stupid. All it does is hurt you. It doesn't help you.
Yeah.
And one more time, and we might be getting to the point where conferences will question it, though it'll never go away because there's just too much money in it. It's a $100 million weekend for the conference. So we're going to play it whether you like it or not.
Yeah, the only ones who don't want it to happen are the ones that are playing in it.
Right, exactly. Because you earned it. It's fun, but you lose, and that's the worst taste to take away at the end of a season. After all of that, and on paper, you win a title or are right there, and to lose it because a conference game with a guy dinged up as you're prepping for a playoff berth, wow, it's a tough place to be as a coach.
I will say that Notre Dame working their way back into the mix means likely one less spot, one less at-large bid will be available, and that's curious to me. I'm curious to see who they take that from, especially with Notre Dame playing certainly a heavily slanted ACC schedule, playing Virginia, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Louisville. So they're playing 4 ACC games. I guess they played a couple. They played a Big Ten team, 2 Big Ten teams with USC.
See, we're going to get this is okay. You're looking at their schedule, and we're going to get there when they get in. And a conference team who had a much more difficult schedule doesn't. We're going to start debating again whether an independent team should be considered the same.
Maybe, but I think now with the A&M win, they're gonna get credit for that.
Yeah,
and they're not like playing they're playing a Power 5 team almost, or Power 4 team almost every week. So they played Northern Illinois, a game they lost,
and Navy.
They play Miami of Ohio,
See?
and then they play Army and Navy. Which, by the way, I think Army, but when they play Navy, Navy was ranked. When they play Army, Army will likely be ranked. Every other game they play is a Power 4 conference team.
And
I don't think they're going to get
Power 4 conference team. I get it. It's the Notre Dame argument, but there is an obvious. They are much better at scheduling down the road than any other team, and they always seem to have. Yeah, and the argument is, hey, we played 8 Power 5 conference games this year.
And are they catching breaks? Yes.
Yeah.
Did they happen to catch Purdue in an all-time historic bad season for Purdue? Yes. Did they happen to catch Florida State in the most embarrassing Florida State season I can remember? Yes.
The fact that Florida State's on their schedule, I'll give them some credit.
Did they catch? Are they going to catch USC in a down year? Absolutely. But if this were a year where Florida State and USC were on top of the world, we'd be going, got to give them credit.
Sorry, my Aggie's showing. It's just hanging out there in the wind.
I mean, listen, you should be happy because right now that Aggie win is the best thing going for Notre Dame, and that Aggie loss is the best thing going for Texas A&M.
Feels like it.
So, and now, granted, if they both end up with one loss, it's going to be like, well, do we put a one-loss A&M in over a one-loss Notre Dame when
then
Notre Dame
we start
beat them
arguing
head-to-head?
record. Then we start looking at who did you play.
Right. But I think the first thing they're going to have to look at is these two teams played head-to-head, and that becomes a bummer. But listen, if A&M's got one loss, they're getting in no matter what. A one-loss SEC team, and that would mean they went unbeaten in SEC play, they would be in. So it's not a worry. Notre Dame's not taking A&M's spot. I can say that.
I just don't want them to take an Indiana. Indiana who has a hell of a record, hell of a season, and loses to Ohio State on the road, and
But
they
you know
don't
what?
get in.
You can make the same argument for that though, because Indiana hasn't played anybody good, and Notre Dame's schedule is going to be tougher. They'll have a tougher strength of schedule than Indiana. I mean, I hope not either, but that win over Texas A&M is better than anything Indiana will have done unless Indiana beats Ohio State.
And if they do, they deserve it.
Absolutely. All right. When we get into this stuff with Jeff Traylor, we're now at the point where I think we have to stop pretending like this is going to be turned around, or this is. I mean, I guess there's still a possibility for bowl eligibility, but it certainly doesn't feel like it. I don't know where this UTSA program is headed. I don't know how he could be feeling, but you've now got the meat of your schedule left. You needed these wins against Tulsa. You needed a win against Rice, 2 heartbreaking losses, because now Memphis is pretty good. North Texas is pretty good. Army's pretty good. You got to play all 3 of those to get to even bowl eligibility. You can't really afford to lose any more of these things. Where do you think coach's mindset is going to be after another heartbreaker this weekend?
I think they're going to look at the tape and see a lot of good things for 3 quarters. McCown, I thought, played really well. It was a couple of defensive lapses late. That 90-yard drive was just a backbreaker, and they just didn't have the ammunition. It's one of those walk-away games where you go, we probably should have won it, but we lost it in a way that I don't know how you come back from it. There's so much good to take out of it. For 3 quarters, they were as dominant, and they looked exactly the way UTSA was supposed to be looking. And then for the plug to get pulled like that, I don't know if you just throw the film away, or you only watch the first 3 quarters, or do you throw the 3 quarters away and only watch the 4th quarter? I don't know what you do to come back against a Memphis team that's going to be so much better than anything that Tulsa had to offer.
The win probability for UTSA, it was with 2 minutes and 49 seconds left. They were up 45-32, and Tulsa had the ball 3rd and 10. The win probability for UTSA was 98.7. And as you know, they did not win. So about as brutal of a loss as you'll hear about.
I'd always rather get beat than lose.
Yeah. I mean, and we'll ask Coach Traylor what he would prefer. I mean, obviously he wouldn't prefer either of those things, but either way, can't feel good about the way this thing went. But we'll talk to him directly, straight from the horse's mouth on the other side. It is The Morning Huddle, hour number 4 coming up on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're listening to The Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville. San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an audience national contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
At Progressive, we know there's a lot of things you can track. Steps, calories, heart rate, your pet steps, screen time, the whereabouts of your favorite celebrity, how long you slept, how long you didn't sleep, how long you thought about sleeping, how long you thought about sleeping. But none of these things could save you money. Unlike Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate based on how and how much you drive. It's much better for your bottom line than tracking your Cocker Spaniel's resting heart rate. So download the Progressive app today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
When you've got a big job to do, never compromise. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Get the power, comfort, and quality you need by choosing Kubota rental equipment. Excavators, skid loaders, track loaders, RTVs, or mowers. At Ewald Kubota, we have the machine you need when you need it. Rent by the day, week, or month. We know you want the dependable equipment Kubota is known for, and we can even deliver it to you. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas for over 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Joel, don't you just love Halloween?
It's okay, but I do like your troll costume.
I'm not wearing a costume.
Folks, if your home's AC starts making those witching sounds or the pipes in your wall start moaning and clanging like ghosts having a party, call Quarter Moon at 651-5899 and we'll send our team of highly trained
Ghostbusters!
I was gonna say technicians.
I ain't afraid of no clogs.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 651-5899. License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
And Doug.
Customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. After that, you can also save me, as I'm currently hanging from the edge of a cliff. To recap, number 1, customize and save. Number 2, time allowing, save me. Shoulders separating!
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary, underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Methodist Care Now Urgent Care has over 19 locations throughout San Antonio, open 7 days a week. From injuries and illnesses to school and sports physicals, Care Now Urgent Care is here to help you feel better fast. Find a location near you at carenow.com and use our convenient web check-in today.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Well, they're working on that wreck on Loop 410 eastbound approaching Jackson Keller. You got just the left lane getting by. This is an hour and 20-minute backup now. Traffic at a standstill from Ingram. They're traveling on southbound to I-35. That wreck at Wheatner is still active on the right shoulder. About a 10-minute onlooker delay from Roy Richards. Michael Scott, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys fell to the San Francisco 49ers 30-24 for their fourth consecutive loss to those San Francisco dudes. Texas A&M took down LSU 38-23 to remain unbeaten in the SEC. The World Series continues tonight. First pitch at 7:08. The Dodgers hold a 2-game lead. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, let's jump right to it. Don't want to keep him waiting. So we'll join us now on the Buyers Barricade guest line is the head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners, Coach Jeff Traylor. Coach, how you feeling?
Oh, we're all right. I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, about as good as we can play one half and about as forward as we can the second. And very similar to what's happened all year. We get on the road, momentum gets going against us, and we're just not good enough to overcome it.
Yeah, Coach, you're losing some games you got kind of used to winning. The comebacks in the big fourth quarters, they just weren't there. And I'll give you 3 quarters of pretty good football, Coach. When you come into today and film don't lie, what do you focus on? The 3 good quarters or the 1 bad?
No, it's all because it all matters, right? I mean, that's the part fans, players don't really get. That play in the first quarter is just as important as that one in the fourth. We just remember the ones in the fourth. And when you don't execute on 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, and 4th and 1 in the second quarter, and you get no points on that drive, that's unbelievable, right? I mean, we have a wide open tight end. We overthrow him. Quarterback sneak. We don't get an inch. We have it back in the flat. We miss him. And the quarterback set the school record. He played one of his best games. It is his best game of his career. It's the best game in the history of our school. Now, I understand we've only been playing football 14 years, so that's not like 100 years of tradition. That's 14 years. That drive is just as important, right? When you have a penalty in the first quarter, which extends the drive, and they hit the touchdown pass, that 7 points matters. So they're all important to answer your question.
Coach, this one, when you look back, is this an offense? Is this defense? What did you feel like was the biggest takeaway? Because I know last week you were all over how great your defense was, and they were fantastic a week ago. Is this more of a defensive or offensive failure in your mind?
No, it's the same as it's been on defense the entire year. We're dominant for 96% of the game, and for 4%, we give up huge plays. And when we're at home, our crowd and our band is enough momentum to get us over the hump. And when we're on the road, we can't bring that juice enough, and that's on me. I've got to do a better job of getting those kids over the hump. Offensively, we continue to get better every single week. I mean, but we didn't execute a 4-minute drive. And what I mean by the 4-minute offense is everybody in the building knows you need 1 first down to win a game. and we lose 4 on the very first run call. And then we have a great second down call for getting us to 3rd and 5, and then we drop the ball on 3rd down. And then our punter does a fantastic job of pinning them deep. We strip sack them. We think we had the ball on the 2. They recover the ball on the -2, and then they go 98 yards to beat us. So there's blame on everybody. It's a game of team, and there's 3 parts of the team, and each part just didn't do enough. And again, I'm the head football coach. That's all on me.
Coach Jeff Traylor joining us here for his weekly stop by, coming off a tough one, 46-45 loss with a healthy lead going into the second half and into the fourth quarter. You talked about your offense. It's coming into gear. By the way, it was good to see Oscar catch a good deep pass like that. That was good to see him back, and it certainly added a lot there. We talk about the defense. We talk about the offense. How far away are you? I mean, it feels like you're not far away, but there's just a couple of things off kilter. What do you fix first?
Well, if we'll all, I know I keep using this word, and I'm not trying to be a jackass, I promise you. When you're playing as bad as I am right now, you don't need any enemies out there. I don't have any friends right now. But we've got a little bit of revisionist history going on here. For 5 years, it's pretty much been this way. We've just won all these games.
Yeah.
They've all been very close.
Yeah.
I mean, we had like the greatest winning percentage of all college football for 4 years in one possession ball games, and now we're not winning those games right now. And what is that, right? Well, let's just use some common sense. We lost a lot of veteran, very good football players, and when you're replacing those guys, we're very young, on offense, and that group continues to get better in spite of all the injuries. And defensively, been pretty much dominant for 95% of the snaps. It's those 5%. It's the penalties and the busts in the back that are just driving me insane. And if we could just get that cleaned up, and I know we're going into game 9, there's a lot of football left. I mean, there's still 5 weeks and 4 games left. We've got this last 33% of the season. We've got to get that cleaned up.
Coach, I know you aren't feeling this way, but when you go into the locker room at halftime, it feels like it's hard when you're talking about college-age kids for them not to be feeling like they've got this game in the bag when they're up 35-7 at halftime. Was it a celebratory mood at halftime? Did anything change at halftime in your mind? Do you feel like maybe your guys got a little complacent, felt like they were in control of the game, and that's partly responsible for how it got away from them?
The problem, like, for example, you just don't want to. I'm not going to put kids on blast publicly. I'm just not. I'll always do that in the back. But you'll have 10 kids that are mentally focused, right? And then one player wasn't, and that one player just so happens to be lined up over the one kid on the other team that hadn't quit. And then maybe he hits your quarterback and the ball comes out, and that one kid scoops and scores. And now that 120-man roster and their fans and their band, they're back in the ball game now. So I had one kid that might not be mentally ready, and then the whole team pays for it. It's such a microcosm of life, family, friendships, churches, community. The whole group gets blamed, and it might be one person in the group that wasn't locked in, and that's the way I would describe what happened.
Such is the life in college football. The injuries we need to worry about before we look at Memphis?
Really don't want to comment. I don't want to help Memphis too much, but we came out of the game pretty unfortunate. So
we'll talk about that later.
It's just been that season. If you just go back and look at what we got left and what we started with, it's amazing. Our kids are still in the hunt. I'm proud of them. I know the 3-5 stinks. I know losing close ball games stinks, but you can say what you want to about the penalties. You can say what you want to about busted coverages, not executing 4-minute, 2-minute. Our kids bust their tail every week, and I'm proud of them for that.
You talk about how you guys have lost a couple of these close games this season. Memphis has won a couple close ones, and they kind of got away with one this weekend against Charlotte. Sitting at 7-1, is it easy to, or is it difficult to convince your kids that this team is not unbeatable, that they're just on a good day, UTSA is just as capable as this Memphis team?
Well, these guys are really good. I mean, that FedEx deal with those guys getting those $5 million a year for NIL puts them on another planet than the rest of us. And if you look at the players on their roster, the amount of kids we recruited to try to get to come here, and we just don't have that kind of coin to get them here. They're deep. They're extremely talented. You know, we mark up there too deep of how many players we think are great on their roster. And of their 11 on offense, we've got 8 of them is great. And on defense, out of their 11 first teamers, we've got 8 of them is great. We haven't had that marked up that many since we played Texas. So, you know, it's the new way of college football. And kudos to FedEx and Memphis. They've got an unbelievable roster. And it's the new way of college football.
Yeah, looking at what Memphis does, they're going to be running the ball at you. That little number 2 is tough to bottle up.
As good as there is in the country. I mean, he's a really, really great back. Seth Hennigan, the quarterback. I mean, he's right out of Texas. Dad's a good friend of mine. Head football coach at Denton Ryan. And he's a really good one. Their offensive tackles, NFL prospect. Every receiver's an NFL prospect. They've got a tradition of winning there for a lot of years. And we'll have our hands full Saturday. There's no doubt about it.
Well, Coach, while we're talking about quarterbacks, I think it's proper to give props to your guy. I don't know, you know, if I'm guessing you treat everybody the same, but boy, it's hard to look, I'm guessing, Owen McCown in the face after the game that he had and say, man, you didn't do quite enough, because that dude played about as good of a game as I've seen a UTSA quarterback play in a long time, and that includes all the great ones that Frank Harris had. You know, how do you talk to a guy like Owen who just might have played the game of his life and came up short?
Yeah, it's crushing. I mean, you know, he set the school record. And it's hard to do in your place, Frank Harris. There are not many records Frank Harris doesn't have. All those receivers are out. He's only got 2 really healthy ones that, you know, we started the year with. His 3 all-conference linemen are out. You know, his tight end's been hurt most of the last 2 games. And then all that kid would talk about is the throw he missed to Houston on the pop pass. He'll talk about the throw he missed on the 2-minute drive. The kid's a winner. And if there's anybody that we have a lot of hope for, you know, that offense is pretty much all coming back if we can keep them all here. And that'll be a miracle in itself. But that kid he's tough as nails, man. And I know he's just a sophomore, and I don't want to heap too much praise on him, but to your point, that's exciting for the Roadrunners for the next 3 or 2.5 years.
Well, Coach, here you sit. Memphis coming to town. Certainly going to need fans to pack the building. The need for noise is going to be more apparent this week than I think in quite a bit.
Well, I always try to do my griping and my fussing before it all gets here, because I don't want you guys to think I'm being negative Nancy when the negative gets here. But I said it when the season came out. Our team was so young. To put them on the road this many times early was very unfortunate. We're undefeated at the house, and we've got 3 home games in a row. Now, here's the question. Can we handle all this negativity? Will our fans show up? Because we're really a hard out at the Alamo Dome when our crowd shows up, because our kids show up when our crowd show up.
Well, Coach, good news. You win these 3 games at home, you're bowl eligible, and all is right in the world. So there's still keeping hope alive, I think, is the way to go right now. Right, Coach?
I couldn't agree more. I totally agree. And for whatever reason that is, when we come home, we're just different. We're 26-3 there in the last 5 seasons. We're 3-0 this year at home. Unfortunately, we're 0-5 on the road, and we've lost 3 absolute heartbreakers on the road in 3 out of the last 4 weeks. So we'll see how mentally tough we are. But I believe in these kids, and the ones we got left, which is not many, we'll be out there fighting our tails off Saturday at 11 o'clock.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck to you coming up this weekend against Memphis. Thanks for your time, and better days ahead. We're all hoping for, Coach. We'll talk to you next week.
Good luck, Coach.
Appreciate y'all. Sorry for the start. There's nobody paying more than me and my players, so I apologize about that. God bless and birds up.
None to apologize for. Giving them hell, man.
Gosh. The coach wasn't here 7 years ago.
Yeah. Listen, all guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. I know he puts a lot of it on himself, but my God, man. I mean, when you hear about $5 million from FedEx, it's like, dude, this UTSA program is ill-equipped for this NIL era. It really is.
Well, yeah,
and
they're behind the curve.
Unfortunate.
They're behind the curve, and certainly Memphis had a little bit of a foothold. That's a legacy program, and everybody is learning to be a high D1 program, from the players, from the coaches, and the alumni. You got to learn to be a supporter. It matters.
Yep. All right, guys. Man, we're running out of time here in the program. We'll come back. We'll talk a little about what's going on in the world not related to sports, and then at 9:30 we'll take a look at the daily lines. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good news on Loop 410 eastbound near Jackson Keller. That wreck is officially gone. Still a 15-minute backup from Exchange Parkway. The crash on I-10 eastbound at Fulton is also now clear. Reports of a disabled vehicle 37 northbound at East Jones Avenue. That one might be off to the shoulder. Michael Scott, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
What's up? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Has a loved one died and left you an old car to sell? GiveMeTheVin.com has just launched the new service GMTVCC.com. Write this down, GMTVCC.com, which is Give Me the VIN classic and collector car buying service. GMTVCC.com will hook you up with GMTVCC Pro buyers that will appraise and offer on that 69 Chevelle, old Corvette, old truck, and especially Restomods. We love Restomods at GMTVCC.com. Don't mess with consignments or auctions. Get paid today on your classic or collector car at GMTVCC.com.
Attention football fans, the season's heating up, and that means it's time for jaw-dropping plays, spectacular touchdowns, and memories that'll last a lifetime. So if you're looking to grab the best seats for all the excitement, Vivid Seats is your go-to playmaker. With an incredible selection of tickets and a game-changing rewards program, Vivid Seats is your ticket to every thrilling moment. Don't miss out. Experience it live with Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? Because I guarantee you, she does. I'm Gary Barton with Barton & Associates. If you're considering divorce, then contact Barton & Associates today at texasdivorce.com. That's texasdivorce.com.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game. In fact, mine and 10 million others are playing this every day because we know what we're doing. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on your sports action. Join me and so many others playing every day. You know why? Prize Picks invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Look, you know your sports. How many yards is CeeDee Lamb going to get this week? Is Jonathan Taylor going to get 85 or more? You know what you're doing. Go make your play. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? You know you play fantasy football. Put your knowledge to work. And remember, use the code Alamo and there's $50 in it for you. Download the app now. Use Alamo. Play with your friends. It's the best way to have fun and get yourself in the game. Remember, Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can add to big payouts. Download the app today. Prize Picks. Run your game.
And Doug. Customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. After that, you can also save me, as I'm currently hanging from the edge of a cliff. To recap, number 1, customize and save. Number 2, time allowing, save me. Shoulders separating.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This Saturday, be at the Alamo Dome as your UTSA Roadrunners take on the Memphis Tigers. And remember to wear black. It's the lights out game and UTSA salute to local businesses. Tickets start at just $21 at GoUTSA.com. It's the UTSA Roadrunners hosting the Memphis Tigers this Saturday in the Alamo Dome. Kickoff at 11 a.m. Visit GoUTSA.com to secure your seats now. UTSA football It's more than a game. It's an experience.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Halloween's coming alive at Target. Jackie and Gordy, the Jack-O-Lanterns, here with last chance Halloween deals. Looks like Mom's got the old pumpkin bucket stocked with the best candy, starting at $5.99.
Lucky pumpkin bucket. Oh, there's Dad party planning with a same-day delivery order.
Yes, it's a BOGO 50% off pizza party with Target Circle. Plus, buy 3, save 40% on soda 12 packs with Target Circle.
Nice saves, Dad.
Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Need it last minute? Get same-day delivery with Target Circle 360. Restrictions apply.
The best mornings
In the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime.
Showtime. Rob, you so kindly reminded me we don't have time to do things that aren't sports related because we've got to do losers. I totally forgot.
Well, so many of them out there
to do losers, but I've got a good list this week. I'll let you take the lead on this. You start counting us down. Who was your number 5?
Well, number 5, because he's not a loser. It's just the circumstance he finds himself. I don't know if you've seen the statue down in Miami.
Oh my gosh, it's criminal. What is that head?
Do you get? Having never had. For those of you who don't know, Dwayne Wade had the Miami Heat offer him a statue. He's the first statue in front of the Heat. You know, you figure others are coming. This is a team that retired Michael Jordan's jersey, so they were looking for something to do, and they put a statue of Dwayne Wade outside of their stadium. But it doesn't look like him. And it's
atrocious.
It's an iconic picture. It's the one where he was standing up on the scorer's table after they won their title, and he's pointing to his jersey. Now it looks like that there was something else on the statue that they've taken out of his hands, and him screaming and his face, it doesn't look like him.
I don't know what it looks like they just took some head from a monster of like Greek mythology and put it on top of the Dwayne Wade statue.
Can you be mad?
It's insane looking.
What do you do if you see it and you go, oh, no? I mean, what do you do?
I don't know, man. I feel bad for Dwayne Wade because, like, obviously it's a great honor. But when that thing gets unveiled, you go, oh, my God. That is horrific. And, you know, Dwayne Wade's not an ugly dude by any means. He's a handsome fella.
I think so.
This is a horrific statue. That's a good call by you to make that a loser. My number 5 is going to be Brian Kelly, who and mostly, like, listen, losing the game was enough. That makes him a big enough loser, the way he lost that game. But just the fact that we've seen this dude get on the podium before and say the exact same things that he said after this game, which is we've got to finish games. Like, dude, at some point, saying it to the media is not enough. You got to make your team finish. He was unable to do it. This was about as good of an opportunity as he was going to have. I mean, it was all in front of him. At halftime of that game, I don't know how you were feeling as an Aggie at halftime in that game. I can't imagine it was good because for the first half of that game, LSU was the much better team. And to look at that final score and say that happened in 30 minutes, that to me, Brian Kelly's a big loser here. To not adjust the way. I mean, he did nothing. Once they made the change, he did nothing to react. I think Brian Kelly was a total loser this weekend.
I'm going to concur. I have him at 4, and it was for the very same reasons. There's a lot of reasons to dislike Brian Kelly. I've never been a fan, but you know the easiest one is the obvious one. His teams are there's just something about a Brian Kelly team that when it gets tough, they're not capable, and it's been through several schools. It just is an ongoing issue that he's a first three-quarter coach, but he cannot bring it home. And we see it here again. And as I see a guy I never really liked at a school that I never really cared for, the marriage has worked out just about perfectly for me. So go ahead, Brian. You're a loser today.
Number 4 for me, I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Matt Eberflus, who, dude, the fans are turning on him. I just type in Matt Eberflus into Google. One of the first articles that comes up, with Matt Eberflus, the Bears will never be playoff contenders. Bears fans are fed up with Matt Eberflus after brutal loss to Commanders. He could not have coached the last 30 seconds of that game any more poorly. Again, I don't think they deserve to win that game anyway, which is enough of a knock on him. But to let what happened at the end of that game is embarrassing. So Bears coach Matt Eberflus makes my list at number 4.
I'm going to go with Aaron Judge. I don't think he's a total loser all the time, but
he's a loser.
Dude, all of this, all that we could have been watching, all that could have been, because the Dodgers, they came to the party. They brought their dudes, even though Shohei didn't. But what we've seen, and Aaron, all that you have been and all the money and all the home runs just to disappear after the 15th of September, as you do annually, at some point you're going to have to rewrite the narrative. But right now you're a lovable loser. That's what you
1
are.
for 9, 6 strikeouts in 2 World Series games. It's baffling that this dude was by far the best player in the American League all year long, and he is such a playoff turd. No, that is a good one. My number 3 is going to be old reliable Aaron Rodgers. Hello, darkness, my old friend. This guy, and the best thing about it is now there's no one else to blame. There's no, there's no Robert Saleh to point at. There's no coordinators you can point at. You can't ask for another receiver. This is on you, bro. Like, you are not good enough. And to say we got to be a 30-point a game offense, no, you don't. Your defense isn't that bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad. You have yet to surpass 24 points this year. Once. You are not a 30-point a game guy anymore. You are washed, Aaron. I've been saying it since the beginning of the season. People didn't want to believe me. I think now it's pretty obvious. Aaron Rodgers is a loser.
We're going to go to the world of F1 and Max Verstappen.
That's made up.
Yeah, Max Verstappen, for those you unaware, he's the one that knocked off Lewis Hamilton, who was a 10-time F1 world champion, the greatest driver we've ever seen. And over the last several years, Max Verstappen with the Red Bull team, as they have risen to the top of the heap. But Verstappen over the last couple of years, even though he's had the very best team, is known as a dirty driver. He's the kind of guy that will run you off the road. Here in the United States, he pulled one off that he got penalized 20 seconds for in the race yesterday. 2 such occasions. One, he ran off Checo late in the race, Lando with McLaren as well. He's a dirty racer. And, we always look at prima donnas. We think about wide receivers in the NFL being a prima donna. But, there's times when being a prima donna can literally kill somebody. Now, I'm not saying the F1 is that dangerous, but when you're running people off the road like Verstappen has been allowed to do over the last couple of years, now he's got every driver against him. Not just because he's been on a Red Bull team, but because he's a dirty driver. It's going to be interesting to watch the rest of the season to see how things pan out, because now he's on a losing team with drivers that despise him, including his own teammate.
What a loser. My number 2 is a guy who's made this list before, Deshaun Watson. Congratulations, Deshaun. You didn't even play. You're sitting there at home recovering from a torn Achilles, and your team actually showed up and showed some fight. The Cleveland Browns look like a whole new squad with Jameis Winston. To me, it just points out again what a loser Deshaun Watson is, and how this guy, I'm usually not a believer in things like, he brings bad aura, he brings bad juju. Like, I don't believe in magic rocks. I don't believe in horoscopes. But I do believe that there is some sort of vibe that he's brought to this locker room that is uncomfortable. And to see Jameis Winston, who it seems like every teammate, Jameis Winston at least been saying all the right things. Jameis Winston seems like he's grown up a lot, and the team just seems to respond so well to him. And to me, it's just a massive, massive detriment to what Deshaun Watson was bringing to that team. So Deshaun Watson, despite not playing, is my loser number 2.
What a great point. I do think that there is this, that people do possess negative energy. I do think there's people out there that just draw in the negative. And he's a classic representative of that. I think that even if you know him and you try to say nice things about him, but no matter what, as soon as he leaves the room, you're like, can you believe that he had all those girls do all that stuff to him? I think that doesn't really, you never get over that. I think that's a valuable point that you overlook. You think you can get past that, but when it's blood, sweat, and tears, everything matters. And I don't think people liked him at the end of the day.
Who's your ultimate loser?
This is sad. It's Mike McCarthy. He's not the general manager. He's not the one who paid Dak. He's not the one who got them where they are. I know that he counseled his bosses that, look, man, I need a running back. Look, man, will you invest in some skill position in the draft? Will you go find some more offensive linemen? Will you sign some more appropriate dudes? But he didn't get to make the decision, and he's just along on a train that Jerry is just driving off the tracks. I feel bad for him because, I keep hearing him talk about, well, we had a good week of practice, but it's a bunch of second-rate dudes running around. He just doesn't have the guys. No, he's no great coach. He's not Hall of Fame dude that's going to, not only beat you with your guys or his guys, but change teams and beat you with your guys. He's not that, but he's a better coach than this. He's hamstrung by players. He's a loser by default by the team he decided to join.
My number 1 is with the Cowboys, but it's Trayvon Diggs. I think Trayvon Diggs' behavior after that game, like coming after some sad sack reporter, I don't know who that guy is, some TV reporter guy, but to be like, you can't do what I do. Yeah, no bleep. You're supposed to be a world-class athlete. When you blow a play, people are going to question. That's part of your job, bro. That's part of why you make millions of dollars to play a kid's game, is you got to take a little criticism. So coming out of the locker room and telling a reporter, some 5'8" white guy, that he can't do what you do. Yeah, no, he can't. None of us can. Otherwise, we'd be out there. But that's your job, not our job. Our job is to critique what you do, and you did it poorly. So to come out there and tell them you talk about these nuts, grow up, Trayvon. That's especially while your team is playing so crummy. You got to be better than that. That's a loser move. That's a bully move and a loser move by Trayvon Diggs. Dude doesn't know how to handle it when he's down. I thought that was pathetic. So he's my champion loser for the weekend, Rob.
Easily. The thing that player never understands is at the end of the day, the media will always win this fight. If you want to pick a fight with the media, you have your platform on any of your social CD. But if you want to pick a fight, you'll get a fight. You will be, your stats will be highlighted. Your mistakes will be exaggerated, and you will be the worse for it when you act like this. I mean, there's a give and take. But if you want things highlighted, like you quitting after an interception, we'll highlight.
And like for him to say, you can't do what I do, honestly, I could have fallen down on that play.
Yeah, but I think I could have given up a touchdown. I think I could do what you do.
I could easily fall down, and no big deal. That's easy for me.
I can easily chase Debo. I can get further and further behind Debo, just like you.
Exactly. All right, that's enough losers for the weekend. Let's try to find some winners on the other side. We'll take a look at the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Mondays for so many people on weight loss programs are reckoning days. Time to stand on the scale and pay the price for the enchiladas you had on Saturday night. Put in a little bit of sweat equity on Monday morning for the chocolate cake you had on Sunday morning before anybody else got up. You're paying a price for cheating. If you have to cheat, you might want to reconsider what you're doing, because to lose weight is one thing. To keep it off is an entirely different thing. And that's why Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health has been so successful. This is not about a 30-day, let's drop as much weight as possible to put on a bikini or a suit for a reunion. This is about putting weight off, keeping it off, and leaving a healthy, functional life. And if you can't say that about the program you're on right now, you need to change. The number you need is 210-468-1891. And his website is iffhealth.com. Now that that's out of the way, let me tell you why he's so successful. Because he treats you like a patient. You're not a client. You're a patient. Dr. Torres is going to look at you, give you everything you need to be successful in your weight loss program. And on a sidebar, you're going to get healthier with everything else. Medications are going to be decreased or go away. You're going to sleep better. You're going to feel better. All those other fun parts of your life are going to get better if you know what I'm talking about. You need to talk with Dr. Torres and change your life. He'll put together a program only for you. You follow it. You do what is asked. You will lose the weight and it will stay off. Don't live the life you're living. You can change it. Call Dr. Torres today. Let the Institute for Functional Health take you to where you want to go. Call him today. Change your life. Thank me later.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one and has some fun with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
Now, you don't got a contract. You got nothing to lose. Is a 70-yard field goal in the offing soon? Will we see that this year?
Depends on the win this week. Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as
Our
directed.
daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free spicy chicken sandwiches from Wendy's, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
Get huge savings during the fall sales event at Ancira Nissan on IH-10 West. At Ancira Nissan, lease this 2025 Sentra S for just $218 per month for 36 months, or this 24 Rogue SV for just $258 per month for 36 months. Stop in or check us out at AnciraNissanSA.com. The fall sales event at Ancira Nissan on IH-10 West between Wurzbach and Heidner.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Halloween's coming alive at Target. Jackie and Gordy, the Jack-O-Lanterns, here with last chance Halloween deals. Looks like Mom's got the old pumpkin bucket stocked with the best candy, starting at $5.99.
Lucky pumpkin bucket. Oh, there's Dad party planning with a same-day delivery order.
Yes, it's a BOGO 50% off pizza party with Target Circle. Plus, buy 3, save 40% on soda 12 packs with Target Circle.
Nice saves, Dad.
Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Need it last minute? Get same-day delivery with Target Circle 360. Restrictions apply.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday at noon, the back-to-back road trip ends in Atlanta with the boys taking on the Falcons.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 11. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
You asked for it, you got it. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bow, bow, bow. All right, baby. Let's go ahead and do it, Vic. Let's take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Daily Lines brought to you by SA Card House, San Antonio's premier card house, located at 281 in Bitters. Saw a dude who won this weekend. Apparently, the only reason he went and played is because the UFC ended early because they were in the Middle East. Got done early. Said, "Oh, what am I gonna do for the rest of the day?" Went and played some poker and won the damn tournament. Good for him. Jealous. Couldn't have been there for it.
Did he win at the UFC?
What's that?
Did he win early? Did he take his winnings from the UFC and just take it and roll it?
I'm guessing so. It was a wild weekend of the UFC. Max Holloway got knocked out. Dude who never gets knocked out got knocked out, slept in the championship fight. And Robert Whittaker was fighting a guy named Khamzat Chimaev. And Chimaev tried to choke him. And Whittaker shoved his chin down to make sure he didn't get choked. So Chimaev just put his arm across his jaw, and his 3 bottom teeth all got pushed back about an inch from the rest of his jaw. Just broke his jaw and crushed his teeth. Brutal finishes out there. So it was some nasty stuff, nasty business going on in the UFC this weekend. All right, let's take a look at what's going on tonight. The Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the New York Football Giants. Steelers -6. Generally, don't like the Steelers in a favorite role, but boy, the Giants suck. And we're talking about a total of 36.5. Man, I don't want to bet on the New York Giants, but I might.
6, man.
6 points with a 36.5 point total. I might have to bet on the Giants.
You're discounting the moon ball that Russell evidently throws that just drops into all of his receivers' hands like it's magic.
I guess so. This just feels like a game that it ends up being so ugly.
Yeah, I like the under. Like that's all I like.
A 13-10 type game.
Yeah, I only like the under here.
So I'm probably going to sit out because I don't want to have money on the Giants. It just doesn't feel good to me. So I'll probably just not play tonight. There is a full slate of National Basketball Association tonight. The Indiana Pacers catching 7 at Orlando. I bet you like the Pacers here catching 7 on the road.
That's a lot, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
It's so early in the season, though. I do like the 7. I got 7.5, man.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of points, man. The Magic have looked good, but, dude, Pacers are better than that.
I think so.
Cleveland +2.5 at the Knicks. I think I'm going to keep trying to fade the Knicks early.
About to say, I'm not favorable on the Knicks in any matchup right now, so I'm paying attention to numbers and props on individuals, but they haven't figured it out yet.
How about this number? The Bucks +9.5 in Boston. I get Boston's good. Are they 9.5 better?
Dude, are you looking at what they're doing to teams? Right now they are. Right. I mean, they're hanging 135, 140 a night. They are
do seem to be on a mission.
Now, that doesn't mean that at some point you just get a little tired. But right now, I'm riding this wave. I like Boston here. And I think you got a good number here, too.
Nuggets -9 at Toronto. The Nuggets have not looked good so far. I don't know that I'm looking to lay 9 on the road with a Nuggets team that's struggling.
Toronto doesn't want to win. They don't care to win, but I think 9's too big.
Heat -9 hosting the Pistons. I don't know if that crazy looking Dwayne Wade statue will give the Heat some juju.
Dude, maybe, this is the best play of the game of the day. 8.5 is what I have.
You like the Heat?
Some numbers. Right now, offensively, they're both terrible, but Detroit is better. They're better at pace. They're scoring more points. I don't think they're going to beat them, but I think it's going to be a whole lot closer. I like the over, and I like Detroit.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of like Detroit here too. +9. That's a good number.
Yeah.
The Wizards are at the Hawks. The Hawks favored again. Hawks with the easiest early season schedule. Hawks -7.5, total of 234.
I might have been a little off on this Reese Sachet kid. He might be a little better than I thought. Not a lot better, but he might be a little bit more than I thought.
Something.
Yeah, a little
well,
something.
This is Risache versus Sarr, right? These are the two Frenchies.
Yep.
Going at it this one.
I don't like the Wizards in any way, shape, form, or fashion ever.
The Memphis Grizzlies, 6.5-point favorites hosting the Bulls.
Look out.
The Bulls feel unbettable, right?
They are, and Memphis is starting to feel themselves. Zach Edey's the best rookie in basketball this year so far. Ja is still floating in the air. That guy's he's gotten better after his time away. This is a team that's finding itself. If they stay healthy, look out for Memphis, man. They look tough.
Mavericks minus 11.5 against the Jazz.
We said on Friday, Lowry can't get 35 a night, and it's true.
No, he can't.
So if he does, it'll be close.
Goodness. Phoenix minus 3.5 against the Lakers. Dude, the Lakers are on fire.
They are.
You taking 3.5 with the Lakers here?
Well, Durant, didn't he just hit a scoring plateau? I think he reached a level over the weekend.
Hit an all-time number?
Yeah, something. He's up in the top 2 or 3. I forget the number.
I mean,
it's not that
day off.
Phoenix is playing terrible, but right now, ride the wave, man. Bronny's feeling good. He's got the old man legs. It's still early in the season. He's showing off for his kid who's about to get sent down to Aguas Calientes.
Hurry up with that. And then the Kings, 12.5-point favorites against the Blazers. The Blazers also unbettable. But even though 12.5 is a big-ass number for Sacramento, one of the best things they've got going for them is their arena's far from everybody, so it's a long road trip. Not really the case for Portland. It's not that long of a flight for them. But yeah, I'm not interested in backing the Blazers in any way. But I would only look at I could only look at 12.5. Spurs 2.5-point home dogs against the Houston Rockets. 219 is the total. Do the Spurs win back-to-backs against the Houston Rockets?
It's hard to beat a team 2 times in a row. I don't care who you are, especially when you're young like this. It's hard.
Do you think the Rockets stayed in town, or do you think they bounced back and forth?
I would have stayed here. I'd have stayed here and practiced. Why would I waste 6 hours of travel going back and forth? If I was them, I'd have treated this like a homer, but give the players the opportunity to leave. But I'd have had a practice yesterday. I know that. Defensively, they had some issues. I'd also would have gone through a nice little walkthrough. No, I'd have treated it like a roadie. You stay here. We'll get together and use the day to actually have a practice instead of travel.
You mentioned the defensive issues. I think that's what I'm looking for here. I like the over in this game, 219. I like the Spurs offense more when they're not chucking threes. And last game, it seemed like maybe they kind of figured that out. So 219 feels like a pretty reachable number. Yeah. And again, the Rockets defensively were not great. Major League Baseball, Game 3 of the World Series tonight. Clark Schmidt going for the Yankees. Walker Buehler going for the Dodgers. Yankees minus 155, Dodgers plus 130 on the comeback. Yankees right the ship tonight, by the way, the total in this game 8.5. How do you see tonight's game going?
Ohtani's going to play, they're saying.
That's what it looks like.
Which is, a threat, although he hadn't really shown up. You got to figure there's got to be some fight in this dog, right? I don't know. One of these guys is going to have to wake up. I don't know what kind of witchcraft that Roberts has going right now, but those guys are believing it. And if it goes down tonight, I think it's all but done. They might not make it back. I mean, they might be having a parade in LA by Thursday.
That wouldn't shock me. I like the over in this game, over 8.5. I don't trust Walker Buehler, even though his last start, he looked phenomenal. I can't imagine he replicates that. I think the Yankees bats have to wake up at some point. I don't know if it's going to be Aaron Judge. I don't know who it's going to be. Somebody's got to get going though, because they score 2 or 3 runs in every game. You ain't going to win many. By the way, what a moment on Friday night we didn't get to talk about with Freddie Freeman. Wow. That was an all-timer. Right?
All-timer. All-timer.
That's going to be talked about forever. Incredible. That they walked Mookie Betts to get to him, and just a no-doubter. Like, as soon as he hit it, it was like, it wasn't a Carlton Fisk trying to wave it fair. It was, he swung that bat and stuck his bat in the air and knew that game was over. That was a really, really cool moment, I thought. And I'm, as someone who's not a Dodger or a Yankees fan, that was about as cool as it gets.
Never happened before.
To me.
A walk-off,
What's
a walk-off like that never happened before. The irony of all this, I was in College Station back in '88 when Kirk Gibson hit the home run. I was standing in a bar and watching that on Friday. I texted my son just like, dude, did you see that? He was in College Station on that Friday, and he was in a bar, not the same bar, but in a bar watching. He sent me a picture. I was like, dude, if I'd had a camera back then, I was standing at a bar watching Kirk Gibson do the very same thing like 35 years ago. All that time ago. It felt very, very familiar.
Was Clay texting you during the Aggie game?
Oh yeah.
What was his? How did his vibe change? What did he feel like at halftime?
Well, there was amongst the group chat we had, there had been calls for Marcel about midway through the second quarter. So, they were kept asking me for stats. What are you seeing? Are there guys open? Are we seeing are we seeing what you're seeing? And it was kind of the same thought was Aggies were running the ball when they wanted to, but they were trying to force a pass game on a quarterback that wasn't going to do it. And the sense was if the crowd was loud enough that it would keep the Tiger offense just astray enough to get things right. And thank goodness it worked out. The crowd was loud enough to get the offense of LSU just screwed up enough for A&M to catch their breath and go to the backup quarterback. I think that in the building, he felt a lot more momentum on the ground than I think you felt while you were watching it on TV, because he was saying, why aren't we running the ball? What am I not seeing? Because every time we run the ball, there's 4 or 5 yards picked up. And that was from the first quarter on, but they kept trying to go back to the passing game. And I think those in the building felt like they couldn't understand exactly why they were throwing the ball. Were we seeing something that they weren't?
I do not think Connor Wegman is good. I'm having a hard time, and it seems like like you said, you don't think this is the last straw. I don't think it is either, because I don't know that Reed is two-dimensional enough to be like the full-time guy. Mm-hmm. But man, they are just so much more dangerous than with him in, because Connor Wegman is not living up to what he was supposed to be. This guy he looks lost in the pocket. He is not a confident passer. And more, what he did to Mizzou looks like the clear exception much more than it does look like the rule, right?
I'm gonna give him a little bit of a pass, not much, because from the neck up there have been some issues. But this is his third OC. This is game 7 in this one. It's not that he's awful, and I don't want to give up on him. And I will say this: it is a lot easier to go from a failed passing offense to running than I think it is going from a failed running offense to passing. Like if you decided to start Marcel and they bottled up the edges, that you're not able to run the RPO that you want to, and Marcel's not tall enough to pass over your line, it'd be a whole lot more difficult to switch back to Wegman than it would be for Wegman to start a game, just like we saw at UTSA, and go, you know what? He's off. It ain't on. We can't protect him. Let's start running the ball. I think it's a little bit easier to switch to a Marcel than it is to go from this edge rushing RPO attack to a passing game. It makes your offensive line just completely recalibrate.
Well, I think that's the other thing is the way that Reed plays. He can play, without a full week of taking number one. Yep. A lot of what he does is it's improvisation. Whereas with Wegman, you need to have those reps. You need to get him right. But man, and I know that Mike Elko's not, he's not throwing him out. He's not throwing him out. He's trying to keep his confidence up. And remember, he was the prize of that class, that A&M recruiting class. It was like their first number one class in history. He was like the prize pig of that thing. And he stayed after Jimbo left. And that was a big deal for A&M. But God, you got to be better by now, dude. You got to be better than what you've been.
There was a play in the second quarter where it was a slant route off of a hot read, and he did everything right. He read the blitz. The wide receiver saw the slant. He turned it, and Wegman delivered a ball at about 110 miles an hour off the receiver's chest. It hit him in the square of the numbers. It was so hard. And you're like, dude, what was that? And it kind of sums him up. It was accurate. It was the right read, but the delivery was just awful.
Yeah, I just think he's got a long way to go, and I know they're all saying the right thing now, like, oh, we're all on the same page here. But boy, he sure did look pouty over on the sideline, didn't he?
Well, these are the things when you're a new coach and you're stepping into the building, you wonder about your decisions. And keeping Wegman as a starter, he did the right thing. Although even through the spring, Marcel had offered a pretty good fight. But it's the way that you have to kind of finesse your guys. They made a mistake. I think that Marcel probably should have been the starter on night one. The way Le'Veon Moss, keep in mind, he's a backup. This was second string.
Yeah.
The way that he's been running, I don't know what first string would have looked like, but we almost lost Moss. Through the spring, he had lost his job. Freshman had taken it. Moss was just about to transfer. I don't know how good freshman would have been. I can't imagine he would have been as good as Le'Veon Moss is. So when I look at transition and coaches, they've erred and gotten pretty lucky in the decisions they've made, because it appears that the other guy was better than the first choice.
Yeah, it's something to watch, certainly, with the A&M coaching, or excuse me, quarterback carousel as the season goes on.
Thunder and Lightning, baby. We got to have a nickname. We should enjoy this as Aggies. Let's find a nickname for it and just and make sure everybody's happy with it, so we keep Connor. So yeah, you're part of a plan, man. You're Thunder.
Yeah,
he's
man,
like
you're a. We need you.
He's shake your bake.
We need you on the days when we go up against a tough run defense. We're gonna need you. The Daily Line is brought to you by SA Card House, San Antonio's premier card house. That does it for us, friends. Remember Monday Night Football tonight after the Blitz, brought to you by Flight by Yingling right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Rob, it's been fun. We'll be back tomorrow. Do it once again.
Viva Las Vegas, baby. Have fun.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Head of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA. It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, all the reaction from the Sunday night game between the Dallas Cowboys and San Francisco 49ers.
We'll also have reaction to UTSA's game against Tulsa. Jeff Traylor will join us at 5:15.
The Blitz, Monday at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Robinhood is introducing forecast contracts so you can trade the presidential election. Through Robinhood, you can now trade financial derivatives contracts on who will win the U.S. presidential election, Harris or Trump, and watch as contract prices react to real-time market sentiment. Each contract you own will pay $1 on January 8th, 2025, if that candidate is confirmed as the next U.S. president by Congress. Learn more about the presidential election contracts on Robinhood at robinhood.com/election. The risk of loss in trading commodities interest can be substantial. You should therefore carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your financial condition. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Commodity interest trading is not appropriate for everyone. Displayed prices are based on real-time market sentiment. This event contract is offered by Robinhood Derivatives, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. Exchange and regulatory fees apply. Learn more at